And I thought that had to be a huge for them.
Yeah, it had to be huge for them, and I actually think we've got our audience now.
There we go.
Looks
because
like
I can hear it.
well, then go ahead and hit mute because
Is that what it's coming on here?
We ought not be able to hear that. But that said, I do think that we're loaded up. Hello, everybody. Good to be with you.
I also want to give a cheers real quick. This is my guy Les in the 305 told me to break out the Flanagan's Cup.
Oh, okay.
For the Miami win. So it's the pink breast cancer awareness cup.
Right. This is my Diet Sunkiss. This is my Diet Sunkiss.
Who's
bottle.
that a tribute to?
Just everyone.
I'm not allowed to bring the Dos Artes in here.
No,
I can't bring the Dos Artes in here, or else I will next time. But I want to thank the fine folks. I want to thank all of our friends who celebrated with us throughout the last 48 hours. It's been a fun time.
But back to that point, because I was at the Georgia-Kentucky game.
I expected you to kind of follow up on that.
Yeah. Well, and then I started hearing things. I was at the Georgia-Kentucky game, 3:30 game, CBS. It was game day game. Yeah. And it wasn't close. So Florida State, Notre Dame, Florida State, Miami. And when you think about it, even though Florida State and Miami aren't what they are, there aren't many rivalries in the country that elicit that kind of passion in a stadium. There just aren't. Like Georgia, Florida, they don't like each other. Well, they split a stadium. To go in another stadium like that, to have a full stadium at full volume, they don't happen a lot around the country. Like what would you say is it like Alabama, Auburn, Florida State, Miami, Florida State, Florida? Ohio State, Michigan. Are those it? Like USC, Notre Dame, it ain't the same. It's just not the same. It's not close to the same.
Generally speaking, I think that's true out in the Pac-12. I've never been to an Oregon State game, so I don't know.
It's their come on, man. They're hippies.
But I do think. I think there's some color. There's some atmosphere because of Osceola and Renegade, the Chiefs, and everything, and the Warchant. It's a little bit different. There's a reason all these pro teams have taken the Warchant.
Sure.
But the other thing is, I think this move of the Chiefs to that end zone with the students is a big deal. I don't think it's a surprise. I don't think it's a coincidence that quarterback, a freshman making his first real road start in a tough place, was 3 of 13 in the first quarter with 2 picks. And then that last drive when they took when they punted or when they kicked off after kicking the field goal, and he had to take over on that side again, they couldn't move the ball. They wouldn't even take a chance. They wouldn't throw the ball down the field. That side is really electric. Now, the Champions Club side,
not as electric.
A little different.
Some say vacant.
But
some would say that. I think.
Vacant.
But that side with the students and the Chiefs, I mean, could you imagine going into that as an opposing team?
No, it's an underrated thing to Campbell Stadium because
when it's at its
peak.
But the point is, the only 2 times they really wanted recruits to come at all, which was smart, was Notre Dame and Miami.
Well, and paid it off.
There have not been there just haven't been better atmospheres. Maybe A&M, Alabama. There haven't been many better atmospheres in the country than those 2 games. That place was off. It was on tilt the whole fourth quarter of both of those games. And that when you're a recruit and you're like, man, can Florida State ever get back? Do their fans care? Yeah. There's the proof for it. And you were in the house and you felt it.
And I went to both games as a fan in the stands for both the Notre Dame game and
you would have signed with Florida State. You
right then and there. But I did, and I was really happy about it because in both instances, I remember the glory days of Florida State where it was like that every week. But my kids don't, and so they were at those games too. And so seeing Bryce and Clark enjoy that atmosphere and how intense it was late, and how loud it got after big plays, that you could just see they were kind of smiling like, this is amazing. Like, it used to be this way a lot, son. We're trying to get there. Used to happen a lot, but we're going to get there again. Now, nothing ever kind of compares to FSU Miami here, but we've had some big moments here, and, that.
But it was huge that they came through and played well.
Yeah, both games. When you bring all those recruits in, you got to pay it off. You can't go out there and get beat 38 to 6. I was going to say 5 for some reason.
You could have been 5.
That would have been very weird.
Yeah.
But, you can't get out there and get blown out like that. No. And not only do you win this game, but in comeback fashion where the place is just, people are falling down the stairs going nuts.
Have you seen some of the videos from the stands?
Oh, it's awesome.
Oh, they're awesome.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Now imagine when it's like 8-1 Florida State. And they're in the top 10, and they're actually playing for something. It's even going to be up and
well, they were playing for something on Saturday night. That's
you know what I mean.
I know what you mean, but I'm saying they were playing for. I've never been more excited for a 4-win team.
For a fourth win,
yeah, for a fourth win in all of my life. I mean, that felt huge. It felt like a program changer. It felt like the kind of forward momentum and feather in the cap the staff needed.
For sure,
it felt like a payoff for the players who have committed every Saturday, even when they went through terrible stretches and some embarrassing moments. They never stopped fighting. Yeah, every one of us at various points have pointed out that it's a likable team. I was talking to Tom Block yesterday. I'll name drop him. We were just chit-chatting, and he was talking about being down on the field.
That's a big name drop.
The Tom Block.
Yeah,
That's the
Tom
way
Block,
I.
yeah. Consummate professional Tom Block.
Right.
So a front row Noles fan.
Right, of course.
So we were talking last night, and he said, well, he was talking about being on the sideline, which is always cool for him, right? He was saying it was how loud it was. We go back a ways. I mean, I've known Tom for 25 years, and we were talking about all the different atmospheres. And I said, hey, listen, does this win to you feel as good as some of those wins where it meant that we had a chance to play for a national title? He goes, it does, because the program has so desperately needed it. They just needed a shot in the arm. This was the shot in the arm. So I don't think you can overstate it, because I also think it's going to propel them to a really good
It also felt different than like the 10 game against Florida, because you controlled that game throughout. You were up 17 at half and you stayed up, and there was never really a game. And like we talked about earlier before people were watching us on YouTube, this one felt different because you came back. You don't usually come back and beat Miami.
A lot of heart.
That's not a lot. That's not in to be down, to go on to give up a 28-3 run, and then to come back in that manner that you beat them and stole their soul and sent them down 75 to the turnpike. I guess
Got their athletic director fired.
Got their AD fired, and their coach is going at some point. That's
the downside of all this.
Well, that's
I really
what
would
I was
have liked
wondering
to have them to hold on to those two gentlemen. Those are great individuals, and they represent Miami so well.
Yeah, maybe Manny's back. Maybe Manny's back for another year. Maybe they make him the AD.
Yeah, I think it'd be a wise decision. They should really reconsider the firing of the AD to begin with. I thought he did a great job.
Yeah.
So, what are you going to do? The new guy is going to have to hire a coach, it would seem. I mean, if you're Manny, that's the worst thing that could have probably happened.
And
right?
it doesn't mean he's probably.
I would get.
Can you fire a guy and then hire another coach without an AD?
No, but the new AD, I would presume, would be hired pretty quickly. And he's going to want to put his stamp on the program.
Well, he's got to be hired in like the next.
He's going to be like, I got to go with this slappy for another year.
I don't know.
I guess maybe
the AD that you're hiring better have a name in mind.
They may already know who they want, and maybe they can get that guy in.
And maybe that AD knows who he wants.
Yeah, exactly. I would say this: who's your slam dunk hire? I mean, a lot of times there's guys out there that you
there isn't. We've talked about this.
There
isn't one other than Saban that can turn Miami into a juggernaut again.
Well, but
the one you're worried
getting
about,
the most out of them, just getting 9-10 wins.
Yeah, the one you worry about, I think, if you're a Florida State fan, is probably Cristobal. But I can't fathom him leaving Oregon. I know he's a Miami guy. I know he went there. I know he's from there. He's coached there.
Oregon's a better job.
How
right now.
can you leave Oregon?
It's crazy. It's
for Miami.
All of the resources.
Yeah, I don't think he is.
Also, he's a candidate, right, for the USC job. Is that still?
Why would he leave Oregon for USC?
I mean, Oregon's a more prestigious job.
But Oregon's top 5.
Also, he may not like LA. I'm just saying it is a more prestigious job.
Yeah, but I mean, he can get all the money he wants from Phil Knight, and he's always going to be in the running. He's always going to be in the top 10. He's recruiting on the West Coast.
I'd kind of prefer if we went back to making fun of Manny, though.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
So
don't want to get too far off topic.
Right, you're right.
That was a masterful performance.
I loved letting about 8 to 10 seconds run off the clock before the timeout.
There's two things that happened in that sequence that I first guessed, turned and said to Bryce. Like on that play, once you've given up the 4th and 14 and he's at the inch line, you've got to let Florida State score immediately.
Yeah.
You got to call timeout for starters, and then on the next play, you've got to let Florida State score.
Yeah.
He did neither.
I mean, and then he did it again. And he's actually lucky because the clock was running before Travis snapped it to score. And Florida State should have let more time run off the clock before snapping it. But yeah, he got lucky in that sense that they still had 26 seconds left. But it's I know we're into analytics a lot. What would the analytics say about what's a better chance of winning? Getting the ball back down by 3 with a minute left? Or with 26 seconds left?
I'm going to go with the minute. I even think advanced metrics are going to be in agreement.
So you're going with the advanced metrics.
I'm going to go with the advanced metrics.
A minute is better than 26 seconds.
It's not normal metrics.
Time.
And you only need a field goal. You need 40 yards.
Corey, I'm going to go with you want more time, not less time to get down the field.
That's what I was thinking.
That's just what I'm thinking.
Me in the press box, I was telling Iris, I feel like he's going to want more
time.
Guys,
he's really blowing this.
Yeah,
I think you want more time here.
His team had 15 penalties, 18 penalties, something like that. And then what about the game plan? My man comes out. He's got a freshman quarterback that's never played anything like this. You're in the stadium. You see it. You hear the crowd. You see the students. And you're just going to sling it all over the lot in the first quarter?
He was that confident by what he had seen the last 3 weeks against the Georgia Techs of the world.
Yeah.
You've got Jalen Knighton sitting over there, and you're just
Rooster.
Just throw it all over the lot.
I didn't realize that was his nickname, Rooster, until I heard the playback when I was watching the game.
Yeah, until he made the play where we don't wrap up.
Yeah, the Rooster's going to crow. I think that's what Mark Jones said.
What did Juki do?
Juki Douglas. Yeah, Robert Griffin.
He's learning.
He's
learning. We're going to go easy.
I said this on Wake Up Warchant. I think his analysis is pretty solid.
He's fine.
he has these goofy sayings.
He's trying to be funny on every
trying
play.
too hard.
Yeah.
It's like, man, just give us the analysis. You don't have to say "Oh Lordy" after every play and
I got you.
Yeah, that's all.
But I think a lot of young guys like that, I give them a wide berth because we've watched guys get better over time.
Oh yeah. No, he's definitely
truly
could be good.
trying, and he does have a passion.
Yeah, and I think he cares about doing a good job, and he does a good job when he's not doing the goofy stuff.
When I heard Juki, I was like, have we been saying his name wrong? Did they have a meeting and they
Juki
told
Douglas?
him, hey, it's actually Juki Douglas.
Juki and Pokey.
It looks like Jakai.
Yeah.
I would have loved for it to be Juki Douglas. Though. I mean, I would have been so disappointed if for a whole season those of us who cover the team got it wrong and it was actually Juki and we missed all those opportunities. Get it to Juki already. For geez, I mean, come on.
It's in his name.
Yeah.
He's going to juke you out of your shoes.
Seminole Headlines 93.3 Real Talk Radio Warchant TV continues in a moment.
We've experienced a couple of blockbuster months recently. What does that mean to you? It means we have a whole lot of quality pre-owned vehicles. And just when there are rumors about high prices on pre-owned cars, you guessed it. At Craft Nissan and Infiniti, we are discounting every single pre-owned car, truck, and SUV on our lot. Instead of Dad dreaming of a new truck or SUV, why not bring him out to the Craft Brothers lot on Mahan Drive to look at SUVs and trucks? Match what he wants. Craft Pre-Owned has dozens of Toyotas, some Ford F-150s, and Ram 1500s. And of course, we have a big supply of Infiniti and Nissan vehicles. If we don't have what you're looking for, we will do our level best to find the car you want. Let other dealers charge you too much for pre-owned cars. Craft Nissan and Infiniti are saying right now is the best time of the year to save on a quality pre-owned vehicle. Craft Nissan and Infiniti of Tallahassee on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco. And remember, if the car you are looking for doesn't have the Craft tag on it, you'll pay too much, way too much.
I called Swain Pools and Spas. Now I'm soaking up the fun when I want to.
I called Tallahassee Car Care and they're fixing my car when I want to.
Hey, what are you doing? This is a Swain Pools and Spas commercial.
I'm turning it into a Tallahassee Car Care commercial.
But Swain Pools and Spas is a full-service shop offering sales, renovation, supplies, and more for years.
And Tallahassee Car Care is a full-service shop offering brake and tire service, batteries, oil changes, and more for years.
But people go to Swain Pools for quality and reliability. Nobody knows more about pools and spas, and Swain has new Caldera spas in stock right now.
And people go to Tallahassee Car Care for their 5-star service at great prices, with most maintenance done by their certified technicians while you wait.
You know what? Just look for the big Swain sign on West Tharp Street, because Swain Pools and Tallahassee Car Care are under the same roof. Online at SwainPools.com.
Online at TallahasseeCarCare.com.
Swain Pools and Spas.
If you're worried about your hard-earned dollars becoming worthless or your 401k or IRA losing value, now is the time to move into gold. No, not gold or silver stocks. For real gold and silver, you can actually hold in your hands. How do you get real gold and silver? By calling Oxford Gold today at 833-600-GOLD. The Oxford Gold Group will teach you everything you need to know about owning real gold and silver. It's a lot easier than you think. Call the Oxford Gold Group right now at 833-600-GOLD to get your free gold and silver investment guide. Put your savings and retirement accounts into something real, like gold and silver. Get your free Oxford Gold Group investment guide today and learn how easy it is to have real gold and silver delivered to your home, or how you can have real gold and silver in your retirement account. Don't sit back and watch your savings and retirement account suffer. Now is the time to make your money work as hard for you as you did for your money. So do this. Call the Oxford Gold Group right now, today, 833-600-GOLD. That's 833-600-GOLD.
This is Kyle, service manager from Barano Heating and Air. Schedule an appointment from your mobile device to learn about our Total Comfort Service Program. With guaranteed same-day service, 15% off necessary repairs, and $25 berry bucks to use towards air filters and other products. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air. Any day, anytime, anywhere. Online at baranoac.com.
Florida license CAC 1816-186. Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
Would like to say thank you, Mark. Appreciate you, buddy. 25 bones
Pillar.
for the operation here.
Mark's a pillar. He's going to Boston. He's going to Boston this weekend with his kid.
Good job, Mark. Enjoy it. That's a fun game. I've been up there. I know, Ira, you're going to cover it. Corey, are you going? No.
Come on, man.
You don't have to go? You would have driven.
I'd be on the drive right now.
Starting tonight.
We wouldn't be able to do the show. That's why.
I would have to do it from the car.
Yeah, but I've gone up there to watch Florida State, Boston College. I think 3 separate times. I always like that trip.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That was the
great
last
history.
time I flew. Was the game up there, the 14-0 game. Was the last time I flew.
It's one the ACC's got going for it. It doesn't have great teams. Like in the SEC, you're going to great college towns with great, stadiums and environments. But in the ACC, you get to go to some cool cities.
Really cool cities up and down the eastern seaboard. It's
Yeah.
great. Yeah, you get to do
From
all of it.
Miami to Maine.
Yeah, there you go. You get to do it all. I do think, and people brought it up on the chat, it's worth noting here. I mean, we're all obviously celebrating a big, big win, but it would mean a lot if they could beat Boston College Saturday, because you go into the Florida game whose motivation is questionable, even if it's a rivalry game, with a legit chance to go 6-6 and be bowl eligible. It would be remarkable after starting 0-4 to even have that opportunity.
Did Sanford's coach get fired for not winning that game?
He should have. I mean, giving up 70 points. Come on, man. Get your team ready. Did they force a punt? Did Florida have to punt?
You'll score 50-something on the road. You
And
got to win that
by,
game,
yeah,
coach.
lose by 20 points. That was crazy, man.
The drive over to our game, the Florida State game, my dad and I had it on in
Same
the car,
here.
listening to Mick Huber.
Mick Huber was not fired up.
He was trying.
Yeah.
Yeah. He would celebrate Florida's big moments offensively, and then, I got to give the color analyst for Florida. I don't know who that is. He's good, first of all. Secondly, he gave Sanford a lot of credit.
Well, after the first quarter, he was like, well, Sanford's on pace for 800 and something yards and
Yeah.
112
80 points.
plays. And
Yeah.
Well, their one receiver for Sanford who had a gazillion yards and a couple of touchdowns, the analyst was like, I want him on our team. That guy's the best player on the field.
Yeah.
Go figure. Sanford's
Yeah.
got the best player on the field. They're 4-5.
He had a kick return for a touchdown. He had a rushing touchdown. He had a receiving touchdown. He threw a pass. That guy might be in the. He might be a very alluring prospect in the portal.
But to your point about trying to get another win and kind of capitalizing on this today at practice, Mike Norvell was real happy with practice today. You can watch his interview at warchant.com or Warchant TV after practice. He was really happy. He said he really thought this was one of their better Tuesday practices, and what he challenged, and we could hear him like where we stand for interviews outside of practice fields, we could hear him. We're not watching him give his speech to the team, but it was like Jimbo levels. He doesn't usually yell that much to that level after practice, but it was very much sending the message that, listen, this was awesome. That was a great game. Tuesday was a great practice. Make Wednesday a great practice. And he said afterwards, they've had great Tuesday practices. They've had great Wednesday practices.
Never
they
back-to-back.
really haven't had the back-to-back.
Especially
Tuesday,
coming off
Wednesday
a
practice.
win, feeling good about themselves after
So
a win.
he's really interested to see what they look like tomorrow.
I think he has to know. I mean, everybody does. It's an easy observation from a distance. You come off an emotional win like this against a rival in which you were an underdog in the dramatic fashion with which you win it. It is hard. It's weird. It's like when you lose the dramatic game, everybody said you have to get off the mat. In a weird way, you have to get off the mat when you get a win like this, because you have got to find a way to focus or BC will beat you. And it's, of course, great that their starting quarterback came back and actually looked good this past week again, like he did early in the season. So he'll test the secondary. I think Adam Fuller's defense played about as well as we can expect them to play. I think we've discovered some things here. You got a couple of guys that are dudes now in that secondary, which is exciting. And they're going to have to go play well. But if you are able to follow it up and you realize that, hey, you're just now scratching the surface of your ability and what you can achieve, he's got to preach that to no end, and let's see if they respond to it. It's hard, I'm sure, for the players because, again, I mean, how emotional all that. Well, you saw their reactions. I mean, those kids were flying high. You're going to have to find a way to be intense. Again, in a noon game, that stadium is sterile. There's no atmosphere at Boston College at all. Every game I've been to there is just...
Unless they're doing the red handkerchief game, and it's not that.
It's not that, yeah. It's the
red bandana.
Red bandana game.
Yeah, so it's not that. It's not that. This is the penultimate game, and you've got to find the focus. It's a noon kickoff. You'll be able to find focus against Florida. It'll be loud as hell, and they hate you, and you hate them. But this is the one, sandwiched in. And we were worried about this game before all the circumstances kind of played out the way that they did. If you go back to when the schedule was released, we're like, That's less than ideal to have BC sandwiched between Miami and Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew that they were well coached.
That would have been a good time for Jacksonville State.
That
Or
would have been
UMass.
Very good time.
And the way they were talking yesterday, and we talked again about it today, I really do think that the toughness thing, the physicality, that has been something that the days leading up to the North Carolina game, that was the message to the team. Like you guys are tougher than them. You're going to impose your will on them physically, and they did that. Going into the Miami game, same thing. You've got to be the tougher, more physical team. Well, this is like Boston College is that is them. That is their entire identity. They're not as fast as you. They're not as athletic as you. But man, they will just punish you physically if you don't bring it. And that's going to be a big
Jimbo.
test.
Ask Jimbo about 37 to whatever the hell that was.
That was a rough one. 35-3, I think.
But they didn't quit.
They didn't quit.
After he originally said they did. That was my favorite part. 2 donations we got to get to.
Okay.
Kevin, thank you so much. Also, Marcus. We'll start with Kevin. Corey caused Norvell's program-changing rant. Now he's making Dillingham cry. Jeez, bud. What are you going to do for Fuller or make Fuller do? And then Marcus writes, this donation is small in size, but big on love for Brownlee. I like the size of the fight in that dog. We're all rooting for you. I do too. I want to echo that, Marcus. He can have bad games, and he does. And there are moments where you're like, oh, man, I'm going to need you to be better. But, man, he brings it on every play. He's intense. He's physical.
And he plays every play.
Oh, and he's passionate.
Yeah.
Cares deeply.
And he'll come back from this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he will. He will. I like him. I mean, he is not as fast as you'd want, but, man, is he tough. And he does tackle. And he sets the tone. And, by the way, in the first quarter, when Miami tried to run the quick game,
he's blown.
Yeah, he's out there.
He blows it up every time. And I like that.
And Rambo, I mean, I know he had some catches. Some were just great throws, and some were great plays by him. Yeah, but he didn't go off for 250 or whatever. Right. I mean, if Brownlee was with him a lot of that time. It's just his mistakes were so out in the open. Like you just, and I don't know who's to blame for that. But you can't run into the kicker there. That is just,
and John Papuchis, and like we didn't follow up and grill him or anything, but he said, they did a middle block on as the call. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know if you need any block on in the call.
No block on that play.
I mean,
well, you get with a long kick, you do want to push up because it's going to be a low kick.
But we don't need anybody coming from the edge.
You don't nobody from the middle. Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Middle block is fine because you're not going to rough a kicker in a middle block.
I'm just saying, like,
he should just be standing there, just not doing anything, making sure it's a fake. It's crazy.
Or just don't hit him.
But you weren't
just not that hard.
You weren't usually.
But great players. Asante Samuel did that against Clemson. I mean, great players that can happen. If you're in that situation, just don't even be in the situation.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Yeah.
You're not going to block it from the side.
But even Asante's, he was diving to block the kick. Jarvis wasn't doing anything but running into the kicker. It was just really bizarre, and it gave them 7 points. They also got 7 points on the crazy deflection.
That's what I was going to say. So on that point, and touchdowns count, just like the Carlos Williams touchdown counts. I heard Tom mention that yesterday. But, you talked about how Adam Fuller's defense played. This defense played, man. They were so locked in that first half.
Oh, yeah, that's a fluky play. You get your hand on the ball. You did everything right.
If that touchdown doesn't happen, who knows? And then the running of the kicker. I mean,
I thought they played well. I thought they played
really
probably their best game of the season.
They played violent. They played physical. They were great.
And I know there's been a lot of again they've been out in the open missed tackles by your DBs the last couple of weeks. Brownlee in the fourth quarter, and then Jarian and Akeem Dent the week before. But overall, as a team, especially the front seven, they tackle really well. They get there and they put you on the ground.
And you got to remember, we all have to remember this too.
And that's big against Boston College.
It's not as if Miami wasn't going to score 21 to 28 points. I mean, you're going to have to. It's the modern game of football. The way that we view a good defensive effort has changed dramatically. The rules are in place for people to score, and people run tempo. They do. You're going to give up points.
They should pull out the old, like Mickey Andrews' old goals that they used to have, like less than 70 yards rushing and less than 14 points, and it's like, no, man, none of those are happening anymore.
Double everything.
I will say this: they did a very good job of shutting down Miami's run game.
Yeah,
Knighton didn't do a thing.
And you talk about the tackling. A lot of those several of the tackles were really good plays by like guys who are engaged up front, like engaged with blockers. But then as Knighton's running by and shedding their guy and making the play. And that's awesome.
The defensive front has done that all year long. I really feel like you're kind of just spinning your wheels trying to run early. First down runs for Miami were disastrous. And, I was like, well, thanks, guys. I mean, I really think to beat Florida State consistently, you should throw the ball a ton. It almost has to be like 75% of what you do.
I just think that was a tough situation to do it for that quarterback in that side of the field.
On early, and this. I mean, I don't know if you can feel this in the press box, but in the stands, it was very windy for the first quarter and a half. And you could tell it was affecting throws. Now, I mean, Van Dyke was also affected by the rush, but it began to really slow down a little bit in the second quarter, and then I don't think it was that windy in the second half. But in the first quarter and a half, I was like, oh, okay. And I kept thinking, I hope this gets ratcheted up. I wanted it to be windy as possible because we want to run the ball.
No, not with J-Trav with that 4th and 14, just throwing dimes, letting everybody know what's up.
Yeah, it was a beautiful play.
How fun is that secondary going to be when you think of Kevin Knowles and Amarian Cooper down the road? And I mean, Jamie Robinson next year.
Yeah, Jamie Robinson is a player, man. He's the third. He's probably the third best transfer they got. They all just happen to be on the defensive side, so he's kind of gotten lost in the shuffle with Kier and the All-American Jermaine Johnson. But Jamie Robinson's been solid, and once they've gotten back to him at safety, that's made the whole difference. Putting Noles at nickel and putting him at safety has made an entire difference. Now, again, we're not talking about the 13 secondary.
You don't need to qualify it, man.
Well, I know, but
they're better. We get it.
But they can be when you project moving forward. That maybe could be a strength next year in the year, especially if you're getting a certain kid from Georgia who's at all your games.
He may be a difference maker.
Yeah, he might.
He might really
locker room. Might really help you in the secondary next year.
Seminole Headlines 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV continues in a moment.
News now.
Former Lake City Police Chief Dr. Agatha Gilmore has been named the first female assistant sheriff at LCSO. Dr. Gilmore worked at the Tallahassee Police Department for 25 years, achieving the rank of captain. Gilmore spent the last 12 years as the chief of the Lake City Police Department. Gilmore says she's ready to be a part of the All-In initiative. She spent her first day meeting with other command staff. The Tallahassee Police Department says an early Saturday morning fight on Corvallis Avenue led to shots being fired in the area. 3 women were dropping off a friend when their vehicle was randomly surrounded by a group of about 10 people trying to fight them. When the women got back into their car, someone started firing a gun in an unknown direction. It was later discovered the hood of their vehicle had been struck. Officers found multiple shell casings on the road and noticed the bullets had hit several cars and units. TVD says no injuries were reported in this incident and no suspects have been identified at this time. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at macklemoresystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Bright sunshine expected this afternoon with daytime highs approaching 75. Southeast winds around 5 miles per hour. Clear skies and quiet again tonight. Lows dip down to about 51. Daytime highs approaching 77 tomorrow. Ample sunshine expected. Upper 70s Thursday, low 70s Friday. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 72.
Our partners at ISF know you want to do amazing things. You have big ideas and goals for the future. For over 40 years, ISF has focused on solving the future for state government through strategy, process, and technology. As a national management and IT consulting firm, ISF has the expertise to transform strategies, refine processes, and implement solutions to lead you in today's changing environment. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
It's Congressman Michael Waltz on the Greg Tish Show.
Good morning, Congressman. How are you doing?
Hey, doing well.
Again, just what you have to go through day in and day out. I don't know how you have hair left, or like Matty Rowe, just completely bald.
Hey!
Sorry.
And the irony of it all, the progressives are the tail wagging the dog. This whole bipartisan White House is a joke. We're just watching them eat their own.
The Greg Tish Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., only on Real Talk 93.3.
Seminole Headlines is brought to you by Register Sausage, serving the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. To find a store near you or to buy directly from Registers, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com.
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
Speaking of Warchant and Warchant.com, go check out the interview that our own Austin got with David Ross.
That was big time, man. Big time.
Today.
Yeah, today at practice. You beat Miami, and the Stars come out.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Mark Krikorian was back at practice. He's been there a few times lately. And then also David Ross, Chicago Cubs manager, World Series champion, former Atlanta Brave.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh Pirate.
Okay, former Pittsburgh
Well,
Pirate.
he had
Well
no
traveled
better years with the
catcher.
Braves.
He's also with the Reds.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Also
he,
the Red Sox.
he came out of practice. He watched probably about a half hour, 45 minutes of it, and hung out with Mark Krikorian and Mike Norvell a little bit during a break in practice. And and Austin caught up with him afterwards, and he had some really, really, really nice things to say about Mike Norvell. He was very impressed by the game. As you all know, he grew up in Tallahassee, so he has been an FSU football fan, knows the history. He was real impressed. I mean, he talked about how when you have a big lead and you fall behind by 8 points, he thought it really says a lot about what they built here, that those kids didn't panic. And
I agree with him.
What do y'all think that could do for Jordan Travis? Because he had another game-winning drive this year, but he ran for 50 yards.
Scrambling, yeah.
Those throws he made, the one to Douglas it's just a dime. It's right there. He had no choice but to catch it. He still almost didn't, but he had no choice. And then at the throw to Parchment, the first one was a great throw. My man just wasn't ready for it. That's a whole different deal. But that throw on 4th and 14, it's almost like he knew he had no other choice. You can't run for 14 yards when they drop 8. You can't rely on your athleticism in that moment. I have to trust my arm.
But definitely last season he does, and maybe even earlier this season. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
There are
when
times
that
he
kid
took off where you're like, that's not the play here, Jordan.
When the defensive end's coming hard upfield, I'm thinking, man, and Robert Scott, I think it was Robert Scott, did a good job of pushing him deep. But you could see, I mean, that, and he didn't. He just stayed in there.
But you wonder what that does for him moving forward. Like, did he do that in the moment because he had no other choice? And is that something he can build on? Or is it just, you hope it is, but it also, some of it had to do, like,
I don't think you could do it just out of desperation. Because if you were in desperation, he would have taken off. I mean, I think that's confidence.
Yeah,
to
but
do it.
and that's what I hope that it translates to, because I feel like in that midway through that game, when they got in third and anything more than 3, they didn't trust him to throw the ball. They had 2 freshman safeties, and one of their best safety got hurt.
Well,
so they had a backup freshman safety. And like 3rd and 10, you're running QB draws.
It's also who your receivers are.
Well,
there's a whole lot. There's a lot going on.
But in that moment, didn't matter who your receivers are. You got to go make a play.
Yeah.
When you have no choice, you got to throw it. And for him to step up in that moment and throw that ball, that kind of route, basically a dig route, right?
It's a dig route, and it was in rhythm. I think the whole
and he
thing
threw
is,
it before he came out of his
Yeah.
break
Right,
almost.
it's trust,
It was
yeah.
Jameis-esque, dare
Well,
I say. Maybe not the pace.
Imagine having trust in Parchment.
Yeah.
I mean, that is something.
By the way, we'll see what happens on Saturday. But my man, Andrew Parchment, was incredible.
How about if he goes for 11 for 240?
I swear they were playing an 11.
The time is nigh, Ira. He's got 2 games left.
I'll tell you what.
Come on, Andrew.
I'm seriously, he made a play on 11 on 11. I mean, just goes up. Mackenzie Milton threw a good ball, man. He just goes up, tiptoes the sideline. Then they go out in the field. I mean, he's just play after play. And I asked Norvell about it. He said, yeah, man, as he said the other day, it's been coming for the last few weeks. He's like, but yeah, that's there. If he does it, if he does the little things, man, it's there.
And you could tell the moment summer practice started, fall camp started, they knew how important number 7 was going to be to them, because they rode him like they rode nobody
my favorite
else.
part
like
about
Jimbo
that,
with the quarterback.
Right.
That's how they handled him on almost every play. And apparently there were some ups and downs and maybe didn't handle it all that well, because there were a couple games where he played 1 snap, 0 snaps, 4 snaps. But then now you don't really have a choice. You've got to play him. He is by far your most physically gifted receiver.
I would say that it wasn't apparent. We saw it.
Yeah,
There were all kinds of ups and downs in
Yes.
practice. He
Yeah.
did not handle being yelled at well.
And they got the message through to him because he has responded from that.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. I think early on they were trying to get the message through, but still play him because he's the most talented kid they've got. Then finally, I think they were like, you know what? We're just not going to play you, dude.
Yeah.
And see how you enjoy that.
You see what we got out there? We're riding with that
Well,
crew.
no, here's the deal. We're not beholden to a Kansas transfer.
Right.
So, look, man, whether you
This
play or
ain't
you don't,
basketball,
we're not
buddy.
out here winning 10 games.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sell my soul to get your ass some reps because, because you want to. I mean, at this point, you've got to buy in and do what we're asking you to do. So, I mean, after the game, obviously, you heard him take total responsibility for what he said was a
I think everybody's acting like it's this big controversy. I think they had a run call, and they switched it in Jordan audible.
But why was he pointing at the Miami
Because
defender?
he thought he had nothing to do with the play, so he was making fun of the guy.
He was making fun of him for falling down.
But dude, if his job is to get that guy cleared out, and the guy falls, well, he did his job. You can laugh at him.
Well, right, but it's only a Florida State thing, because as he's pointing at a guy that he may fall down
for him to score,
the ball's in the air. And he
I
starts walking the end zone.
I got you. I'm
That's the
just saying,
optics of it.
but there's not to me, there's no it's not like a controversial thing. It's like he just didn't get the call. Now,
So he thought he was running the cornerback off, just running him off. Yeah,
and
that's 100% true. But the reason he
so when
didn't
the guy
look,
falls, he's like, man, look at you, man. I'm not even putting a real move on you. I'm just trying
but maybe if he had, instead of looking at the the DB is like, look, I wonder where the ball is.
All I'm going to say is this. All I'm going to say is this is why coaches would tell you that that's never
I'm
something.
fine, but I'm just saying it's not like you're blaming him for not making that catch. To me is not fair because that's not the play that was originally called. Now he didn't get the signal or Jordan didn't signal it right.
Yeah.
But there's a lot going on.
No, I give him credit for taking blame. Nobody's flipping out. I'm just saying you got to run the play. You can't just stop running.
Or do you think maybe if he was looking just to see
There's
where the
a lot
play
of
had
stuff
gone,
there,
just
yeah.
to see where the play had gone instead of pointing at the guy on the ground?
The bottom line
what
is
he
he came
normally-
back and made a big play. And,
I think what he normally would do is just keep running because
which
I'm
would have
just
been ideal in this situation.
Maybe there's another safety you can get over there.
But the bottom line is
That's a great throw, by the way.
to come
He
back.
put it on him.
To come back from it is the point we want to make here. That Jordan had to trust him again.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure he was pissed. In fact, I know he was.
And Jordan on that play made the right read to go to that, thinking, okay, I got one-on-one with that. You're gonna get a touchdown on
my
this.
best chance. Yeah.
And,
It's good. He is the guy. Like you watch him in practice, you watch him in the games. He's the one that looks like an actual college receiver. You know what I mean? Like
A
he just
Florida
does
State receiver.
a Florida State caliber
In
receiver.
terms of speed.
And
Yeah.
well, even
he can make some crazy
he
catches.
makes catches on
Oh,
the
no, body
sidelines.
control and all that.
He's got good hands.
And he
Spindly
can
legs,
beat.
so he doesn't-
No, he doesn't.
He can beat one-on-one coverage, and Miami was doing a lot of that. All teams are going to be. Florida's going to be doing that. Everybody's going to do one-on-one coverage because they're not scared of these receivers. He's the one guy you feel like that can beat one-on-one coverage. You can throw it up to, unless he's making fun of the DB on the ground. But that's a whole different deal. But that's why he was such a wild card for this season, because if he'd have been the guy he's been in practice the last couple of weeks, if that had happened all season, maybe it's an extra win. Maybe that's his war is won because he's such a better receiver than anybody else you got when he's engaged and involved.
What's funny is you and Aslan were kind of getting mad at Norvell because it was he picks up the fumble and scores the touchdown.
Yeah.
On a play where he was not doing what he was supposed to be doing.
Correct.
No, he completely missed the block.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you guys, when we're texting, then he didn't play the next week, and you guys were like, is he the first guy that's ever been benched for scoring a touchdown in the game? It's like, so you were killing him
Can't have
then
it both
for it,
ways,
but
my
now,
man.
Hey, those text messages are private.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad.
I mean, what are we doing? That's not for public consumption.
I'm putting them out.
That's not for public. Oh, by the way, can we just have to come to grips now that Norvell there's no rhyme or reason to his fourth down decisions. There's no analytics.
Man. It's not about analytics.
Look,
it's
at all.
Combination.
At all. Let's not even say that
they have
he
the
cares.
analytics.
I'm sure he has them.
Yeah.
But it's all about gut and feel and flow of the
It's
game.
not all about gut and feel. But we're not doing this again. So just stop talking about it right now because we got to go to break anyhow.
You can't say.
So in theory, I was right, podcast rights, and donated money. If you know that he won't contribute the whole season, but he makes the 4th and 14 catch, would you still take Parchment in the transfer portal?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Hell yes.
Against Miami?
Against Miami, yeah. The
Yes.
answer is a resounding yes.
And his brother. Sign his brother and his sister.
Yeah, they're
Well,
all
we
coming.
need room. We need more room. I don't know about all that. Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, and Warchant TV.
Ad every night at the Corner Pocket. Take home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas Wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
The weather is unpredictable and can cause issues around your home. Weston Trawick provides commercial, residential, and industrial electrical wiring services, yearly inspections on fire alarms, portable generator sales, and so much more. With 24/7 emergency service and repair, Weston Trawick will be your calm in the storm. Give them a call at 514-0003. Weston Trawick, professional electrical services day or night. Visit online at westontrawick.com.
This holiday season, it's more important than ever to show some love to our local businesses when tackling your shopping lists. Real Talk 93.3 and the Office of Economic Vitality want to encourage everyone to think local first before you click that Shop Now button from the Big Box website.
Instead, consider checking out some of our very own local businesses like Lowly and the Bean, packed with unique gifts like home decor, jewelry, women's apparel, and customized gifts for any occasion.
Early's Kitchen, featuring fresh, made from scratch, honest, good food, served family style and packed full of comfort.
Red Eye Coffee, with locally roasted coffee, high-quality teas, hand-blended cocoa, and house-made artisanal chocolates and pastries.
And Trip Drop Fitness, an exciting place for women in Tallahassee to have fun with a rewarding physical workout and feel confident in high-intensity cardio and group fitness classes.
'Tis the season to love your local. Find a full list of participating local businesses to love at oevforbusiness.org.
That's oevforbusiness.org.
Sarah here from Seminole Autoglass. Remember when you used to get yelled at for writing the Braille?
Oh yeah, those bumps on the yellow line. That was before the car techie stuff we have now, like lane keep assist.
You know, when your windshield is replaced, those cameras need to be reset. It's called recalibration. Seminole Autoglass was the first to offer it here.
Nice, keeping us inside the line instead of riding the line.
And we offer drop-off or mobile service. Plus, we give you a $50 gift card with your windshield through insurance. We're more than just a glass company. We're your local auto glass experts. Better call Seminole.
Many orthodontists in Tallahassee can straighten a smile, but at Birch Orthodontics, they're dedicated to providing the finest care possible. The experienced and friendly staff is trained in all of the latest techniques. So whether you need standard treatment like braces or Invisalign, or you have a more complicated case requiring extra attention, Birch Orthodontics is here for you. Set up your free consultation today by visiting birchorthodontics.com, BURCH orthodontics.com, or call 850-877-1692. At Birch Orthodontics, they create beautiful smiles that last a lifetime.
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
And we're wrapping up the hour. Before we do, I will say I'm excited this week about all of the questions from the headlines. I'm going to race through Twitter and Facebook.
Good.
I want to get everybody's in because, listen, everybody's feeling good. Now, we got to
celebrate together.
We got a lot. I'm going to try.
Okay.
But we can't linger. You know, Corey tends to be prattling on kind of guy.
Yeah, I do.
So we got it. We got to find a way to get in here and get out succinctly. Here's the answer. Next.
Sure. I will say, so going back to what we were talking about before the break.
Oh, let's talk fourth down.
Oh, Jesus.
I get it. I get why he did it this game. I did not think it was the right move last game. I did think it was the right move this game. The reasoning that he gave us, though, I had belief in my defense that we were going to get.
I'm with you.
You can't say that this week when last week it was a possession thing. Your defense had forced 3 straight punts last week. This defense this week had given up 3 touchdowns and 4 drives. But you trust them now when you didn't trust them then.
But you did feel better about the way they played. You said earlier you thought they played well in that game. And then also I think the other part he couldn't say was, and I also knew with some game pressure on that freshman quarterback.
Yeah,
and
that's the thing, right? And my reason would be like, look, we didn't want to go to overtime. You're going to need 2 scores anyway. It's 4th and 4. It's not 4th and 1. Let's go get the points now. We're going to have the ball back again and go score a touchdown to win it. I think that's perfect.
Because if you don't get the ball back, they've either
won the game and
or you're going to overtime.
It's just hard to figure. From week to week, it's hard to figure out his reasoning. But
maybe just don't worry about it.
I'm not even worried about it.
You seem a little obsessed about it. But I will.
4th and Norvell. He's just going to do what he's going to do.
I'm going to say this, though. I think the better conversation is the deliberate nature in which he decided, okay, we need to possess the football here. Come hell or high water. Doesn't matter if we get 3 or 8, which you prefer. But we can't give the ball back to Miami real quick here. I mean, there was no sense of urgency on that drive. He ate up a ton of clock.
The field goal drive you're talking about.
Yeah.
7-minute field goal
And people
drive.
in the stands were flipping out. I'm like, no, the defense is tired. He can't let them go back out there. He's got to – I mean, obviously you got to get points. But he wanted to possess the ball and eat up clock and shorten the game.
Yeah.
Shorten the game. At that point, you've made a decision, an executive decision at that, which is what you're paid a lot of money for. We're going to go down. We're going to get points. I don't know if we're going to get a field goal or if we're going to get it based on time. But I know that we're going to have to get a stop. I mean, at this point, because you choose that strategy, you know that by definition, there aren't going to be a lot of possessions left because you're eating up the entirety of the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So you've now decided one way or the other. Hopefully we score a touchdown and go for 2 and tie it. But if not, if it's right, I'm going to have to get a stop for my defense. And, I mean, obviously They got the stop, so you look like a genius. If it doesn't work and you eat up 7 to 8 minutes of clock, we're like, what are you doing, dude?
You get the stop. Your punt returner makes a great decision by letting it bounce at the 16 and roll 16 and a half yards. I don't know how Pokey knew that it was going to roll that.
It's also lucky that Miami didn't send one of their gunners down to the end zone. Like, I mean, they just stood right there next to him.
Yeah.
If one of them had gone down there,
you would have thought they would have been like, have you not watched film? Yeah. Assume he's going to not catch it and down it at the one because he did not. That's something that's got to be fixed for next year.
For
That's
years,
been
we're going to
an
remember the
embarrassment.
game, and it should be brought up every time that if they down that at the one, you lose.
Game's over.
You're going to lose the game.
And you're going to say to yourself, why do you keep putting people out there that will not catch the ball? It wasn't like he was at the 5. He was at the 16 and let it bounce.
But that's not what happened, though, is it?
No.
Well, but it did go into the end zone.
It did.
And Florida State did go down the field and score, baby.
And they did say, suck it, Miami.
Yeah,
How'd
that's
that
right.
taste?
They did get that way.
But that's the – man, when you're not a good team and you're playing other not good teams, it is as a great man once said, it can be a game of inches.
But also
it can be a game of inches, guys.
But also I'll go back to, and I was hard on Jimbo, and this is like I think this was in 2011.
They really showed up in Oxford the other night, didn't they?
Oh yeah, it was a nice effort.
Great performance.
2011, I think it was the Virginia game, I think, and I'd been critical, and he took me up and went up and watched some film, and he was showing me some plays, and I was like, well, why? He's like, this guy's supposed to do this, and this guy's supposed to do that, and I was like, well, why don't they? And he goes, because that's who they are.
Yeah.
Like, these are guys I signed. They're guys that are here. That's what I have to play with. And I think, man, there's some of this that they have to deal with.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, there's a lot of it. And then that's true of every staff. Even when you build what you're looking for, it is still a game played by young men.
Very young men. Sign.
Yeah. Or even guys you do. Like, I mean, I don't want to put anybody on blast here, but there was a player here that Jimbo did sign and he liked, but he had a tendency to make mistakes in looking at things the wrong way and not the way they taught it. And he said, well, I will live with that because what he does provide.
Right.
And he's like, so I just got to know that occasionally I'm going to be watching film and go, it's just like that's going to happen. And it's true. And I think in college especially, because you're not repping this all day, every day like you do in the pros.
Oh, yeah,
this
yeah.
Is, I mean,
and that's,
mistakes are going to be made.
And in every sport. I mean, I remember talking to the basketball coaches about plays, and we'd be like, why did you guys do this? And we were supposed to do the exact opposite.
Yeah.
But we broke the timeout. We told the kids 6 times, go to this spot, and we go out
and we watched in horror as he ran to the other spot, and we all went, what are you doing? And in the interim, the best is when it works, though. And then afterwards, coaches kind of have to dance around like that's not really what we were trying to do at all, but it's a great shot. So what are you going to do? Yeah, I do think there's some of that there. I mean, Papuchis doesn't teach, by the way, since we were complaining about this all year long. We've watched the practice. That's not the way they teach.
To not catch the punt.
I mean, to look utterly, absolutely.
And even when they had the two punt returners there, which by the way, pick your poison. Who are you going to punt to, Travis J or Pokey?
Where are we going?
Either way, you're in danger. But Pokey's not even going to catch the ball, but he gets as close to Travis J as possible to kind of freak him out a little bit. Maybe because he thought, in case he fumbles, I got to be right here to pounce, which is smart.
Fumbles, which, by the way, is great. Would you imagine, though? Imagine that. Like, that's the thought process.
Yeah.
All right, Corey, they fumbled.
We got to get 3 guys surrounding it and get ready to dive. Get ready to dive.
Yeah.
So when you think about this program, because it's getting much better, it really is. Like maybe much better is
from where it was
last year. And I think we've talked about this before, but it was so bad last year. I just looked up our man Fim Brown, his rankings. So right now, Florida State is 45th in the country, which seems about right.
Hey, you see that plaque over there, baby?
Yeah. They're not. I think they're they might be top 60 in both right now.
Yes, they are.
But they're 45th overall. Which isn't great for Florida State standards,
but world's better than a year
last
ago.
year they were 103.
Yes.
And that seems about right. That seems about the progression they've made.
Big step forward. Headliner questions forthcoming. Stay with.
Live and local on Real Talk 93.3 WVFT, Gretna, Tallahassee.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. President Biden takes his infrastructure message to New Hampshire today, along with the person who will supervise the $1 trillion plan.
A day after signing the infrastructure bill into law, the president gets outside of Washington to sell the plan. Joining Mr. Biden will be former New Orleans Mayor Mitch Landrieu. He's been selected by the White House to coordinate across federal agencies to work on roads, ports, bridges, and airports. As mayor, Landrieu helped revive New Orleans following the devastation of Hurricane Katrina.
White House correspondent Greg Cluxton. Also at townhall.com, the jury continues deliberating at Kyle Rittenhouse's murder trial after 2 weeks of testimony. Rittenhouse, then 17, shot 2 men to death and wounded a third during a night of protest in Kenosha, Wisconsin in the summer of 2020. Americans sharply boosted their spending last month, pushing up retail sales.
The Commerce Department says retail sales rose a seasonally adjusted 1.7% in October. That's up from 0.8% in the previous month. Much of the gain reflected the fact that shoppers are also paying higher prices.
Correspondent Jeremy House reporting solid hiring, strong pay raises, and healthy savings for many households are underpinning robust spending by U.S. consumers. New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio says crowds will once again fill Times Square this New Year's Eve. The mayor said that proof of COVID-19 vaccination will be required for revelers who want to watch the ball drop in person. The president of the Times Square Alliance says all spectators age 5 and over will be asked to show proof of full vaccination. He said people who can't be vaccinated because of a disability will have to provide proof of a negative COVID-19 test. Stocks have been higher on Wall Street. The Dow, 202 points higher. The NASDAQ up 122. More at townhall.com.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry's starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover. All for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 3388 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 3388. Enjoy.
Hi, I'm Jeff, founder of Which Superior Sandwiches, and I'm here to tell you about our signature witch, the Wicked. Why call it the Wicked? Some say it's wicked tasty, some say it's wicked large. One thing's for sure, with oven-roasted turkey, ham, pepperoni, roast beef, and bacon, as well as your choice of 3 cheeses, it definitely takes you from wicked hungry to wicked happy in just a few wicked good bites. Only at Which Superior Sandwiches.
On Wednesday, the Wicked is just $5. 5 meats, 3 cheeses, $5.
Live and living color and totally free. Subscribe to Warchant TV on YouTube, the digital home of Warchant.com. From the practice field to pregame and the phone calls afterwards, Warchant's YouTube channel is home to live programming like Seminole Headlines, Wake Up Warchant, The Jeff Cameron Show, as well as Trench Talk, a live Q&A with Noles offensive lineman Devontae Love-Taylor. Just search Warchant on YouTube and click or tap the subscribe button. That's it. It's totally free. Warchant TV on YouTube. Just another reason we're the ultimate Seminole sports source.
Seminole Headlines is brought to you by Register Sausage, serving the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. To find a store near you or to buy directly from Registers, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com.
It's time for Seminole Headlines, featuring Warchant.com's Jeff Cameron, managing editor Ira Schofel, and senior writer Corey Clark. Your weekly dose of all things FSU, pistols, and pies starts right now. Here's Jeff Cameron.
Hour number 2, Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV. This hour brought to you by Birch Orthodontics. Yeah, we got the official word from Dr. Birch this week, or just last week, that the youngest needs them as well. And she wants me to decide whether I want them simultaneously in braces or Bryce is about to come out.
Right.
And then we go to Clark. We just pass it off. Pass it off. Yeah. Why don't you, your mic's not on. Corey's mic's not.
How's that happen?
There you go.
There we go. Now we're talking.
I don't know what you're doing.
Hey, I didn't know I could turn my mic off.
Can you ask her if they can reuse the same braces?
Yes, what I'm saying.
Son, don't worry about it. It's like a hand-me-down shirt. Throw this on.
It's been your brother's mouth for 2 years.
Yeah, pretty
Throw that
nasty.
in there.
Yeah.
Dr. Birch is like, those don't actually fit the same. You got some pliers, right?
Yeah.
You got something
Come
to
on.
make it happen.
But it's going to happen. And so, anyhow, we're moving on to the second kid. But nobody I trust more than Dr. Birch and her great staff at Birch Orthodontics. And you guys can find out, get a consultation. It's free. BirchOrthodontics.com, all that good stuff.
And you know Dr. Birch enjoyed this win. on Saturday.
Oh man,
Huge Nole. Go and yeah, man. And if you want more information, they have free consultations. You go to their website, birchworth.com.
What's her promo code?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
She should give half off for the next
Ride
month.
or Die will be the promo.
Yeah.
Whenever Dr. Birch, whenever you come up with the promo code, it needs to be Ride or Die because you're the Ride or Die orthodontist.
Yeah, 30% off.
And
14 off.
I'm not sure that's going to happen, Corey. But you keep throwing it out there and giving away the free food at Horizon.
Yeah,
you just do what you
guys,
do.
It's just tell them Corey sent you. Everything's paid for at Horizon. Probably at Dr. Birch's office too.
I was at Horizons recently, so we usually talk about them later on. I don't want to confuse all of our great sponsors, but they came through as
Hey,
always.
before we get to questions, shout out real quick to Dr. Alyssa at Dr. Swardzewski's. Oh, yikes. I had a tooth emergency last night. I chipped my tooth because my Mexican food was so good. I ate my fork, and it chipped my tooth, and I got right in there this morning, and they sanded it down, made it perfect again for the ladies.
Take us through this biting a fork thing again.
I mean, it was really good food. I was hungry, and I've never done it before. I've had this bridge for 15
You just
years.
straight bit down on a fork?
I bit down, and I felt that didn't feel right.
I mean, Mexican food's not even like chewy.
Yeah,
no, I know it doesn't make sense. I just chomped down on the fork, and it left a little jagged edge in my tooth. It cut a little the bottom of my front tooth off. I was like, oh, this is a problem. This isn't fun. I didn't even get to enjoy the rest of my food because I was so worried.
You also didn't get to come to practice today for interviews.
No, or write a story afterwards because it was.
I'm sure he was devastated.
Well, I hate dentist office, but they took care of me. They were very nice people, and they snuck me in at Stephanie's dentist, and they were very nice.
Invino Veritas writes, if we cannot catch or return punts, why don't we just put 11 guys on the line of scrimmage and go for the block every damn time?
Well, they'd run a fake, and you'd have nobody out there to tackle.
That was a Twitter question. So everybody.
Oh, okay. Well, you starting off with a Twitter question?
I did.
It would be nice if they caught punts and returned them occasionally.
Yeah.
Miami wasn't about that life either. They didn't even try to return any of those.
It does
hey,
remember-
good game by Mastromano, I thought. He had a couple
Yeah, he played well.
couple nice
That
punts.
Miami punter's better, but yes.
Well, it's yeah.
As an aside,
Well, that Miami punter, I think, just practices with 1 foot the whole time.
and he's really good.
Mastromano's got a split time between his
Actually,
left
all
foot and
we
his right
do
foot.
apparently is play a series of great punters every week.
Yeah,
What
this
is going
league is
on?
quarterbacks.
This
Quarterbacks and
league
punters.
here, buddy, is crazy.
Quarterbacks
Now we
and
go.
punters.
Now we go over to Facebook. Look at this.
Okay,
You
here we
see
go.
This, yeah. So, Jensen Corey, first-time questioner, long-time listener. You as a group have stated, and I agree, that this team is improved, and at the top, Norvell is a good coach. At Memphis, he did not have to rebuild the culture, taking over for Fuentes, started to build something for him from a different angle. If Norvell had this team at Memphis against their competition level, what would you project their record? Is the talent gap in the AAC versus the ACC lend to Norvell possibly being a top-tier coach in the ACC? That's a weighty question.
Yeah, and I'm not sure I get all the parallels. If you took this team and played in the AAC, I think they'd be about what they are.
They'd be more than 4 wins.
Yeah, they'd probably be 6-4.
Probably
right?
around
So
6-4.
They wouldn't have
Somewhere
to play
there.
like.
They should be that now. They hadn't lost to Jacksonville State.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
don't think, I don't think.
No, the ACC's not a juggernaut. You're fair. It's fair.
Andrew Parchment would be lighting up.
I get where you're going. What a game, an all-time moment for the program, writes Ward to Dunn. If we can pull this off and win the final 2 games, this will be like 2010. With a worse record, we'll have a major recruiting momentum, and our 2 rivals are crumbling around us. Love the show, guys. Well, thank you very much. And he just put in here a picture with the headline there, UM's Diaz on play that will haunt me forever.
Yeah.
And his rationale as to why the call was regrettable.
Yeah, that was a cool quote. Miami fans aren't usually haunted by one single Florida State play. It's been a lot of the other. So it's cool that you can return the favor there a little bit, even in a game between not great teams. But I don't even remember the question.
Well, I was going back to the last question.
Oh.
But he did say, like, is it possible that they do have a great coach? And the coach is going to take it. And I did want to comment on that because I do think, I wrote a 321 article that's up on our site at warchant.com. People can read. And I talked about how I feel like that they built a really strong foundation right now. And somebody responded and said, and I haven't responded to him yet, but he said, what would this article have sounded like, though, if they had not gotten a 4th and 14, or if they had not? It's like, I have felt this way all the way through. I wasn't going to write it this definitively after losses.
Yeah, after losses.
Until you have something
because
more
of how
substantial.
it would be received.
But, we've been out there practice. This is why when we had this conversation after the Jacksonville State game, I think 2 of us felt pretty strongly that Norvell can coach.
I think so.
I can't remember who the third one was.
Right.
But
Well, and a couple of people point out here, not only that particular situation. But it was Corey and Tom Lang that picked Miami this week, and you and I had Florida State. So once again, we were right.
Again, my reasoning was
but you lost again, so it's okay, man. It's all right.
Hey,
your hate is understandable.
Spoiler alert!
I get it.
I'm picking them to lose this week too because
go.
it's good luck.
Oh,
it's
so
good
now,
luck at this
now
point.
It's a thing. I see.
Every time I pick them to win, they lose. So I'm switching it up. I'm picking
Joey
them to lose
writes
out.
to be an elite head coach.
What
College
was
football.
the last question? The Ward to Done question.
It will be like 2010.
And how important is it that big of a win?
Yeah. It would be. I mean, I think they're already, the signs are there, whether they win these next 2 games or not, man. The progress has been made, and the recruits have seen the progress. As long as you don't get blown out 50-0 2 weeks in a row, I think the foundation has been laid to show those recruits and the players that are still going to be on your team that progress has been made. Believe in it.
So Joey writes, to be an elite college football head coach, you must recruit elite talent, develop that talent, and occasionally outcoach your opponent. I'm starting to think Norvell checks all 3 boxes, especially the latter one. Thoughts?
I definitely think
he and Dillingham are making a good team offensively, by the way.
I feel very strong about the first 2. We'll have to see about the third one. I did, Dillingham did, took ownership of the third one call, which was crazy to get a sack in that situation. But
insane.
I did love, my favorite. I mean, I love that. We all love a good trick play. The play where they bring Rector in motion to get behind the center, which is what they had done before to get a short yardage to get a touchdown, and then snapped it between my man's legs back to Jordan Travis, who then runs around the end. It only gets it gets a
you
few
the
inches,
exact number of yards you got to get.
But
it's a cool play.
It's almost out the gate. There was something that didn't happen on the
hadn't
play.
heard that in a bit.
There's something that didn't happen on the play that should have happened, and if it did, that Jordan Travis may
He's
go
gone.
the distance.
I'm going to give you another one. The safe play they call is a first down if we don't fumble, which is the only thing you can't do there is fumble. And also, they've got a screen pass set up to score. He's still running. And, they're on this. I mean, that's a touchdown, or at least into the red zone. So they dialed up a lot of big plays. Didn't hit on all of them, but hit on enough, obviously. And they've had to do it all year long, manufacturing an awful lot of offense with very little to work with, is all I'm saying.
And on the evaluation and recruiting part, I mean, clearly they're doing a good job of recruiting based on what they've got, what they've landed. But I think the evaluation is I think they're there. I think we're going to be impressed by how they evaluate when you look at just what we've seen from this freshman class. And these guys can play, and there's more of them that haven't got an opportunity yet. But there's almost nobody in that freshman class that I think that was a miss.
It's your opportunity, Corey. Ryan writes, fellas, how cool would it have been during Miami's timeout with 26 seconds left if the PA had started playing with arms wide open while Corey closed his eyes on Jordan Travis's touchdown run?
What a wonderful moment for that young man. I'm not going to say I felt vindicated or validated, but that was a big time drive for him and for that offense. And when you think about him and his future, I don't know if he's the future quarterback. To me, it's going to be hard. I feel hard pressed that somebody's going to beat him out next August. It's when he gets hurt next year, who is his backup that can come in and do similar things? But yeah, man, you start wondering, okay, what will he look like when he's got real guys to throw to? How much does that change things? And that's what you hope you see in next year, the year after that.
Eric writes, let me start off by saying mad props to Corey and Tom Lang for picking the Canes in their weekly picks.
That's what I do. Hey,
I know why you both
6.
did it, and it doesn't go unnoticed by me.
Thank you, man.
A little reverse psychology for that ass, and it worked. I always use the hashtag rock ass solid, but you both just became rock ass soldier, if there's such a thing. That being said, I know the extra syrup talk is usually reserved for recruiting. But given that name, image, likeness is now legal, I think Jermaine Johnson has earned the right for the extra syrup to flow freely so that his pancakes runneth over. It's peanut butter jelly time, boys. Yeah. Well done.
It is peanut butter jelly time.
Let's talk a little Jermaine Johnson because we haven't really done it.
Man alive, all time. I brought it up for both of you, but Corey started prattling on about fourth downs. So I think that Jermaine Johnson obviously is a guy. It's weird because I pick my FSU football heroes carefully. There's only a few that I lock in and say, and it's not everybody's traditional. Now, Marvin is.
Right.
Marvin's my favorite player of all time. But there are some other guys that I have
Senior
on my top
or junior?
5. Well, junior, of course.
Yes,
I mean,
of course. I always watch
yeah,
him.
absolutely.
There's Joey Calachini.
Always. It's yours too. Yeah. No. So there's some guys that I really, really love. They're not always everybody's favorite. I don't always go to the same people. Yes, I love Warwick Dunn and Derek Brooks and guys like that. But anyhow, I would say that Jermaine is going to hold a special place in my heart. I just got lucky enough to talk to him during the spring game. The whole situation where he came over and we talked about Norvell.
You were smitten with him.
I was smitten with him. He was the first guy of all the transfers.
You would have swiped right.
Is that's the dating app thing? Is that what that is?
Listen to this.
No.
What's that? What is that? Is that some sort of weird?
I assume that's what that is,
Yes,
right? Yeah.
yes. Grinder.
Yeah.
I can tell you that for sure, two of us have never swiped right or left or any
This
way.
guy, though,
Man, I was a swiping
Prolific
fool a few years
for a while
ago.
ago.
He was
You were
swiping
swiping
everything.
Yeah.
To see what happened.
So-
Nothing took.
It's like a roulette tip.
Yeah. Yep.
Just in case.
Yes.
And Stephanie finally responded.
Yeah, exactly right.
So Jermaine was the first guy I saw take the field and thought, okay, he looks different. That's different because we don't have enough guys that look like that. He's a throwback to like great days for Florida State. Then he was cool enough to sit there and talk with me for a half an hour while we ate food, and was forthcoming and really insightful and interesting. And he took the time to think about what you were asking. And he was just, he accepted everything that Norvell asked of him, which was, look, it's not just that you're coming here because you got playing time. I need you to lead the team. I need you to show the young guys how to work. I need you to show them how to prepare, how to watch film. I need you to show them what it means to be tough every day at practice. I need you to, and I need you to ball your ass off because we're not real good and we haven't been able to get after the passer in forever. So, I mean, check. And when things are going poorly, like an 0-4 start, you would think that whatever investment you had in doing that and wanting to do that because you said you would maybe subside. I mean, at this point, you just lost to Jacksonville State.
Yeah.
And yet it never did. In fact, if anything, he ratcheted up that responsibility. If anything, he continued to show and persevere in a way that other guys could emulate, even in the worst of times.
That story from Adam Fuller yesterday was crazy. He said that like in practice he's done that. He's like told a sub they've run a play and he hasn't repped it as well as he thought he should have. And he's like, no, can we do that one more time?
Yeah.
Well, no, that was Fabian Lovett, which is another good sign.
Well,
But he talked about Jermaine on a Friday walkthrough almost running down a play from 20 yards away on the other side of the field. He's like, that's just who he is. And look, he's already etched his name in like people's favorite Florida State Seminoles. I mean, I don't know if he's a top 10 guy,
but it's hard to do one year on a bad team.
So he and Walter Jones are the only two I think that are like that 1 year
wonders.
that.
But Walter Jones was playing for national championship. This guy's on a 4-6 season, which makes it a little different. But also think about where this program maybe is in 2 or 3 years,
and it'll be.
And you look back on what he meant to it.
And
like
Keir Thomas.
You don't win the 2012 ACC championship in basketball without Tony Douglas in 2009 and showing those guys how to play and how to work. And I think this thing, Jermaine Johnson's legacy and impact can be felt for years after this. And hopefully we'll be looking back on it 3 years from now, and he'll be even more beloved for what he decided. He left the best team in the country to come play for this team and play his ass off the whole season.
And I'm 100% with you. I think we all are. But it is also Keir Thomas and Jamie Robinson and a couple of those other guys as well. I mean, those guys are all.
Yeah.
I mean, look at during the interviews after the game Sunday or Saturday night, Jamie Robinson looked like an NFL dude who had just gone to like played against like the Steelers or something. I mean, he was worn out.
Yeah.
When they were laying it, I mean, for a team that they've only been at for 10 months.
So you get, in addition to 7 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, the 3 sacks, forced fumble. But that play, they throw short
down play,
and you come over to make that play, we're never going to forget it.
That's your 80th play on the field, too, and it's that far away.
And you see it when you watch that replay. It's fun to watch, and I could see it from the stands. I'm like, the second he realizes what they're doing and where that's going, whatever any other responsibility, I'm going to make this play.
Yeah,
You're
man,
not getting there.
He might be the ACC Defensive Player of the Year on a team that wins 4 games.
He's been amazing.
That's never happened.
Seminole Headlines, headliner questions, more of them forthcoming. Stay with us, 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV.
It's their own routine after a long day. For me, I like to take a walk with my dog, get some fresh air, maybe relax on the porch, and lay in my hammock in a nice shady spot. No matter what your routine is, you know the sound of those mosquitoes. It starts with just, then another, and then another. And before you know it, you're literally slapping yourself, running for safety inside. Pulse Termite and Pest Control has an inexpensive solution to this persistent problem. Pulse has a program that treats the grounds, flower beds, shrubs, and standing water, and it controls mosquitoes year-round, which means you can take back control of your yard. and quit smacking yourself across the face. Enjoy your yard again, mosquito-free. Call Paul's Termite and Pest Control today for your free consultation for the elimination of termites or any other pest. Visit Paul's online at callpauls.com. That's callpauls.com.
If you weren't the owner of Gordo's and all those wonderful restaurants, Eddie, what would you be doing?
You know, I think I'd want to be I don't know what I'd want to be, a boat captain or a cowboy.
You know how to use a lasso?
No.
You'd have to do that if you were a cowboy.
Yeah, but I've never even been on a horse. It's not my place to be on a horse.
I agree. And the horse thanks you. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
What's important when shopping at a gun store? Let's start with a friendly and knowledgeable staff. Then add top-notch service, great selection and pricing, and a personal shopping experience only found at a locally owned and operated business. At Red Hills Arms, they're right on target. While other gun stores come and go, Red Hills Arms remains Tallahassee's go-to local gun store for all your firearms needs. Stop by today and get welcomed in like family.
Every great construction project, whether it's a new addition or renovation, starts with a plan. At T-Spark, we are excited when our clients contact us to assist with that plan. Through our team of architects, draftsmen, engineers, we can help you with your project's planning and design, potentially saving costs in the long run. Whether you have a residential or commercial project, we look forward to working with you. Call us today or visit us at tsparkconstruction.com. License number CGC 1525336.
See Nice Tire and Auto Service at 4792 Bluntstown Highway today. The ASC trained technicians at Nice take the guesswork out of fixing your car. That's why wherever you see the Goodyear sign, you'll find what you want in tires and service. From preventative maintenance to a major overhaul and everything in between, you name it. Plus, Nice's services are backed by a nationwide limited warranty. Stop by Nice Tire and Auto Service. 4792 Bluntstown Highway, just west of Capitol Circle.
Your home is where your memories live, where you laugh and where you love. We understand the importance of the valuables under your roof, tangible and intangible alike. So no matter what's around the corner, we'll be there, offering you and your family the support that's made Florida Farm Bureau Insurance a trusted name for over 75 years. You deserve more. You deserve a promise. I'm Andy Cohen with Florida Farm Bureau Insurance. Please call me at 850-671-FARM. That's 671-FARM.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
Gordon, thank you very much. We appreciate you, brother. Support for what we do is always appreciated and allows us to do even more, so we'll continue to try. He writes, so proud of these players and coaches. By the way, nicely done. The support is in the way of 3128. So that's nice.
Right.
That's the monetary amount there. I feel like we are in a better place than UF and UM.
Too bad we weren't covering Florida after that Stanford one. We would have got $70 or something.
70-52.
Anyway, go ahead.
Who would have thought that at the end of September? Go Noles and suck it, Miami.
They are in a better place. It's crazy. Like
Yeah.
if you're a kid, a big-time player in the state of Florida, and those three are recruiting you, there's only one that feels stable at all. And it's the one that's 4-6 and was 0-4 2 months ago.
Correct.
How cool was it, man? And Corey wrote about it last night, but yesterday, just the way Odell and Dugans were on the sideline.
Oh,
man, and they've had to eat it these last few years.
Odell's hug with Mike Norvell was great too.
Yeah.
He was like so proud of him.
And then Dillingham tearing up, talking about I tried to really get him to like gush, but he snapped out of it. He's like,
Well,
he kind of barked at me. It's like they're just special kids, man. Next question.
It's kind of, I don't know if
You're a little Barbara Walters these days.
I tried to.
You're
Well, I
trying to
said
get
I was like
going.
Oprah, but it was a cool moment. I thought
it was, but it was like you're gonna make me do this again? Like,
Well, I thought maybe if he'd had a few minutes to compose himself, he could elaborate on what made him so emotional thinking about that scene, and it just got him emotional.
Marlon writes, heck of a game, fellas. Ira, sorry we could not meet this trip, but Jeff and Corey, it was great to meet you both at the CP.
Yep.
Now, did Miami out Miami themselves by waking us up, including the at least 70,000 strong at Doe Campbell by jumping around like buffoons on our logo before the start of the fourth quarter? Hashtag victory sausages. Yeah, that was great. That was typical Miami.
that was funny.
That was old school Miami FSU,
it
too.
was classic.
Yeah, you can't put too much on it because they did score 2 touchdowns right after that.
Yeah,
But
they scored on the next play.
But no, I do think it was cool. I mean, it was just cool that again, especially this team with so many guys who are just here for this year or just got here this year, for them to care that much was cool.
Was cool. Michael writes, I suppose no platinum Bohica for the Gators in basketball. Well, we can start one now, a new one for the Canes in football. Hashtag still a football school. Hashtag keep Manny, he's good.
Just keep Manny.
Did the original Bohica stop at 7 also?
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
7's just you should have changed
Because
to
of
7.
Charles Kelly and Tavares McFadden.
You should have changed to 7.
It's hard, man. Platinum Bohica's 10. We've gotten close a couple times. Just can't finish it off. That's why it's hard damn work. And if you ever do, you'll appreciate it that much more.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, I don't think it's happened in our lifetime.
You got to get to that Platinum Bohica. And
Yeah.
when you do, you plant this.
Whatever you're going to plant.
Yeah. So he goes on to say, Corey, why didn't you take the turnover chain? It's kind of like sod, except at home. You should have snuck over their sideline as a sanitation engineer and sweep the area.
And then got their turnover chain. So they still have one? I didn't see after
Yeah, they
the
do.
Corbin fumble. They still have they have still a turnover chain. What does Florida State do? Anything?
No, they
man.
just celebrate like men.
Yeah, they just like, hey, we're playing football here.
They did. I did hear a little bit more of what happened because there was a little thing on the sideline when it was Keir Thomas when he recovered the fumble, right? The early fumble.
I thought it was McClendon, but whoever.
Well, anyway, so the fumble comes to the sideline. Keir Thomas, yeah, maybe it was McClendon. So the FSU guys take the fumble, they run off the field with the fumble and they go to the sideline. Well, Miami's equipment guys, each team has their own football. So Miami's equipment guys came over and they kind of went into the defensive semicircle to get the ball back.
Yeah.
And they were not greeted warmly.
No.
And so there's a little
Imagine that.
situation there.
So they just run over and just start
like,
rifling
hey,
through a bag of
hey,
balls.
we need the ball back. So apparently maybe Keir Thomas and a couple other guys might have had some things to say to them about their football.
Like, what are you doing?
And so FSU's equipment guy had to go over and was like, dude, I'll get the football. You get the hell out of here.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's what that was about.
Like, you would at least go over there and be like, guys, I hate to interrupt, but y'all have our football. Is there any way we can get it back? If we can, it's cool too. Like, I'm just doing my job. Not like just start rifling through a bag.
That's how
this
people
is
get an
mine.
ass beat. Yeah. I mean, that doesn't take long. We're like, what do you do?
That would be
Bam!
sort of-
Yeah, the equipment manager's getting a fight. That's when you know it's a rivalry.
Yeah. Kevin writes, before the NC State game, I bet my girlfriend that if we finish the season with at least 2 more wins, we would get another dog.
I thought it was going to be an engagement. I mean, there were proposals all over the place in that game.
3 of them at that
By the
game.
way,
It was
so
insane.
Stephanie had a really funny thought. When I told her to watch the video, she's like, what did you do for the video? Did you pour champagne? I'm like, no, I did something different. Watch it. She swore that when it started, I'd be down on a knee proposing to you. That would have been funny. It would have been fitting because of all the
I
proposals.
was worried
that were out
about
there.
the one. The girl was so flustered. She
Yes.
didn't immediately
Yeah,
say,
she
yeah,
wasn't-
it felt, she wasn't real excited.
We may
I'm
need a
not real
follow-up
sure.
story
Yeah,
on
that
that
one. I don't want to say which one.
I'd also
But it
like to
felt a little
do.
shaky.
I'd like to do a story of like just a random 100 proposals on video boards at sporting events. What percentage
See
work
how many
out?
of those worked out?
I think it's probably a little lower than the national average. That's just a guess. But who am I to say?
It feels like it would be, but we don't know.
I'm the one in here that's divorced, so
There
maybe
you
that's just the way I think.
But he went on to say in this question, what should we name the dog, Jordan or Jermaine?
Ooh,
that's a good one.
Man, you might need to get back to us. Right today, I'm saying Jermaine.
Yeah.
How about Jermaine Jordan? JJ.
Oh,
How about
well,
JJ?
JJ. Go with JJ.
Yeah,
Go
all
with
right.
JJ.
I'd go with Parchment.
Tony writes, what's up,
JPJ.
fellas? This weekend's events reminded me of a couple of things. First, the year that we finally ended the streak against Florida with a 31-7 win. I remember that one fondly. Second, the lack of recruiting by Miami, and particularly Florida when Jimbo, Mullen in this case, stopped recruiting, and that was their downfall. Seems like momentum is headed our way, especially with a strong finish. Your thoughts? I completely agree. Everything about this felt a lot like that. I thought the exact same thing after the game.
How about Jimbo's comments about LSU? And he's like,
Yeah. Well, you don't
"Look,
be a dummy. Why would
I go to
anybody?"
LSU? I've
Yeah.
got the top recruiting class in the country. Obviously, I'm staying here. And it's like, yeah, man, we know what happens when you're planning to leave.
Yeah,
to do with
yeah,
recruiting.
what do you say? Like, I don't want to play against these guys. I got the best recruiting class in the country coming in. It's like, yeah, at 17, you weren't all that sad about leaving that class behind.
James writes, if women's soccer wins the national championship, will we finally get an hour number 2?
Oh,
I mean, they're actually kind of favored to win the national championship.
yeah, I don't think
know
that's
if you
kind of
get
out
it,
of nowhere for that to happen. They are favored. They're the number 1 overall seed.
So there's nothing they can do.
No.
Soccer can't
How
get
about
one.
4-0? 4-0?
In the
or
finals?
better.
I'd go 3-0.
Okay, 3? Okay.
Well, I'm not even going to say 3-0. 3-goal differential.
Okay, so 5-2,
5-2,
yeah.
6-3,
Score
9-6.
Yeah, not
one of
gonna
those.
happen. Yeah, one of those wild
if
ones.
They, if they beat UCLA 9-6.
4-1's possible. So there you go. Yeah.
So a 3-goal differential. I'd do an hour number 2.
All right, there you go. And it has to be in the national championship game.
Well,
Can't just be some
what are we
random
doing?
win
We're
in
in
the
second
tournament.
round?
Yeah.
Come on, man. You kidding?
Michael writes, would you rather beat your biggest rival in thrilling fashion or have an FBS school score more first half points on you than any other team since 1857? May Dan Mullen reign for 1,000 years.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, still, though, Florida fans probably appreciated their FBS game more than Florida
we
State
did. Yeah,
fans.
that's why I was careful.
But
Maybe I raised an eyebrow.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But they did score 70. But, yeah, that's an all-time embarrassing performance by a defense that apparently just doesn't want to play anymore.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. You change your defensive coordinator, and they apparently got worse.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not the defensive
Maybe
coordinator.
Grantham was actually keeping them together.
I just don't want to get bogged down in more Willie questions. Nothing against you, Matthias. It's a fair question. I just don't want it. I feel like we've done the Willie thing enough where we start comparing the stats and all that. Let's move along. Charles writes, Miami has.
I will say this. Mike Norvell was a better hire than Willie Taggart.
I think that.
I'm on the record.
I agree with that.
All right, we'll see.
Miami has Dwayne The Rock Johnson. We have Jermaine The Don Johnson. Is it safe to say FSU has the bigger, better Johnson? Oh,
How about your boy Aslan? Did you watch in the rap? He our post game video, Aslan did a graphic and he to tribute Jermaine, he put the big Johnson.
Oh, yeah, I did see that. Yeah. Aslan does a good job of those things. Highbrow stuff there over at Warchant. Great video, though. It's a great video. I'm wearing a bandana. I'm wearing a do-rag, and then we're doing that kind of stuff.
Chris writes, Jeff, you said last week that we were going to suck again next year. Doesn't the transfer portal render any such declaratory statements null and also
Correct.
put more pressure on coaches for quick turnarounds? I'm thinking you said that because you want patience with Norvell, but it's a new world. I probably suck is severe. I think that they'll be.
Well, you speak in hyperbole a lot.
Oh, I do.
Yes.
I think they're a 7-win team next year, and I think the whole thing is not the transfer portal, although you can greatly benefit as we've seen. I think it's Jordan. If Jordan's going to throw the ball with any degree of competence, like we saw in this game, and he's going to continue to take steps forward in that direction, it changes who Florida State can become.
Yeah, man, because if this is who he is, and this is what
It
they
changes
and you got to
everything.
give Kane Dillingham and Norvell credit, because we did question a few weeks ago, like, hey, what did you guys see to make you think that was there? Now, if this is here and if this is legit, and that goes in, and who? I mean, they got a chance to win. I mean, there won't be many games where you're like, they're not going to win this game.
Well, but they still have to get vast improvements from the receivers,
sure.
and they still don't have.
Well,
tight
that's why the portal comes into play. Like you
can
might
pick up
find.
Well, let's wait and see what they get.
I guess that's his point. It's a fair point. You can't make declarative statements on the ceiling is only 6 or 7 wins because you might get a couple of Jermaine Johnsons at wide receiver. It's hard, but you don't know that it can't happen.
It's unlikely, though. If we're basing it on percentages, the chance. I mean, they really did hit a home run with Jermaine Johnson. That very few
and Keir Thomas,
it's amazing.
But they could find like 5 or 6 impact difference makers.
They could. You're right.
Like Miami did, like Ira said, like Miami did last year.
Yeah.
You could do that, and then you go from a 6-win team to an 8-win.
Well,
team,
and that's really what I should have probably clarified is they're not going to be a juggernaut next year. They have too many things to replace, and they still have too far to go in lots of areas. The offensive line, the defensive line, they're losing a ton. Let's see what they get. But are they going to hit a home run with all of those? And are they going to be much better at receiver? Is Jordan going to be continuing to take step forward as a passer? Maybe. I'll give you that. And if he does, yes, they could be a lot better.
They could be top 25-ish if things break a certain way.
I think they could be an 8-win team. You do have LSU on the schedule next year. You do have,
we don't even know who their coach is.
Well, he's going to be better than the guy they have.
By the way, how about you still want Max Johnson? I bet Max Johnson's a lot more amenable to transferring than he was this time last year because his ass got benched in the first quarter. This guy wants the kid that can't even play at LSU, Ira, to come. Jordan Travis would have put up 40 on Arkansas.
They're not taking him anymore, Max.
But I will say, there
By the
is-
way, the other reason I wanted Max to come is to bring his brother
his
as tight
brother.
end.
But
Yeah.
I do think that there will be quarterback is probably something they look into for depth purposes, if nothing else, because you don't know what Rodemaker is or if he'll
Well, and
even
also
be.
let's not pretend Jordan
He hasn't
doesn't get
established
hurt,
himself,
and he
right.
hasn't
He hasn't-
consistently done what we just saw.
Yeah, but that's what makes it kind of cool is this program right now, even at the record, you feel like what Jermaine Johnson's done and Keir Thomas and the steps they've taken, obvious steps, it's got to be kind of appealing to a guy at a big school that's not playing much.
Well, and the thing about that Notre Dame game and this game was there's something about the way they play that I think you'd want to be a part of. They play hard.
Yeah.
I think if you sit down and listen to the pitch too, clearly it resonates. With
And anybody that's competed, and again, back to that David Ross video, but like anybody that's competed in anything, certainly at this level, knows that when you blow a 17-point lead and you fall behind by 8 points with a few minutes to go, for you to come back and win that game, man, that says a lot.
I always like watching rebuilds and turnarounds, and usually you're watching it from afar, and it's not your team, thankfully. But when you do see it, I've always admired it. You see, unless it's your rival, then you're just
'Cause it's hard.
Then it's pending doom. But we've noticed teams like that where you're like, okay, there's something there. They're not good yet, but they're gonna be because look at the way they fight right there. And we're that team right now. Seminole Headlines 93.3 Real Talk Radio Warchant TV continues in a moment.
News now.
Legal action is unfolding in Quincy in a power struggle between the city manager and city commission. This follows a vote last week to stop hiring new employees and raising pay unless approved by the commission. Quincy Mayor Pro Tem Keith Dowdle moved to freeze the city manager from hiring new employees, stating he put a freeze in place to set money aside for the police and fire departments. City manager Jack McLean says this will interfere with the powers of the city manager and prevent him from implementing key programs. Brand new classrooms are now open at Rutgers High School. The Maggie B. Lewis Butler Science Building was dedicated to the local education Monday morning as the school district unveiled the $50 million investment on campus. The building includes 8 classrooms that will each hold science classes. This is one of several major investments to Rutgers High over the last few years. District leaders said they want to make sure that all students in the district have access to the same education. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update. Brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at macklemoresystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Bright sunshine expected this afternoon with daytime highs approaching 75. Southeast winds around 5 miles per hour. Clear skies and quiet again tonight. Lows dip down to about 51. Daytime highs approaching 77 tomorrow. Ample sunshine expected. Upper 70s Thursday, low 70s Friday. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 76.
Your body is a masterpiece designed to heal itself from within. Learn how to maximize your health by tuning in to Phenomenal Health with me, Dr. Ryan Finn. Saturdays at 2:30. Experience true health today and call Finn Chiropractic at 386-7700.
Let's be honest, we all have way too much stuff. Maybe your storage closet is full, your garage is full, or the guest bedroom is a mess. Call Southeast Portable Buildings, 580-6400, or visit them online at southeastportablebuildings.com.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Here's what you missed on the Greg Tish Show.
Charlie Crist, he's running for governor. To mention the governor, I'm tired of it. I'm sick of it. We see it in presidential. We see it all the time. It's the new norm. We even saw it local. That it should be. It's like, hey, I'm running for this local
But do
seat.
you understand? I heard a statistic that like half of our population reads at like an 8th grade level.
And what is the other 2/3
Half
grade
does.
at?
That means almost half does not. You're right.
The Greg Tish Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., only on Real Talk 93.3.
Seminole Headlines is brought to you by Register Sausage, serving the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. To find a store near you or to buy directly from Registers, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com.
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
Appreciate you, Jeremy, checking in. Go Noles. Enjoyed hanging out Friday night, guys. That is from Jeff, who writes Jeremy Renner checking.
Oh yeah, the guy looked just like Jeremy Renner.
That's him. Yeah.
That
So
was
we
funny.
appreciate.
He said he went to a place to get his oil changed or something
They
with
thought
his
it
car.
was Jeremy Renner.
And the two guys were arguing, and they made him roll down the window. It's like, hey, are you that guy? Are you Jeremy Renner? Are you Hawkeye? And he goes, no. And he goes, I told you. And his other guys goes, his buddy goes, that's what they all say. They all say they're not the guy. That's how much he looks like him.
Eric, thank you as always also for your contributions. What's up, Seminole Headliners? That was fantastic. What a win over Manny Diaz and the Hurricanes on Saturday. I like when fourth quarter started. Both teams came out the midfield logo. But yeah, there we go.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you, buddy.
Man. Wild that you got Manny and FSU grad on that side, and Randy Shannon over on the FSU sideline. And
yeah,
it was cool to hear Norvell talk about that yesterday. He said you could tell that Randy Shannon took a little extra. Really enjoyed this one.
Enjoyed that one?
Beating the Canes.
I wonder if when Manny laid his head on the pillow, the last thing he thought was, oh no.
Yeah, I did it.
Just a little bit, like
he did it for the Noles.
I helped him. I helped
a little bit there.
I'm
like
gone
Mac
either
Brown.
way. Yeah, Mac
all the
man, all the
FSU grads.
Yeah.
Man, that loyalty runs deep, Ira.
With the current issues at Miami, landing rights, funding, recruiting, personal limitations, broken, undisciplined locker room, is there anyone Miami could realistically hire that would actually scare you? Lane Kiffin would probably fit in really nice. He's not going to leave Oxford to go to Miami. That'd be stupid. But a guy like that, maybe.
Kind
because
of
he's
swashbuckler and
willing to break the rules.
Willing to break the rules.
Yeah. He could probably.
That's what I meant by swashbuckler.
Build the fence around Miami.
Yeah.
He could probably do that.
Maybe Rhett Lashley will do to Manny what Manny might have did to Mark Richt. Like bail. Where did Manny went to, like Temple or somewhere?
For about an hour.
And then they had to pay $4 million to get him to come back.
Yeah.
It worked out for him.
Yeah, it did.
Well, yeah.
It did. Money well spent.
That's why the AD is no longer the AD.
So, yeah, I don't really know who else they're going to – I guess you would say we talked about it
Cristobal.
off the air. But yeah, I mean, Cristobal.
But
why
I
would you
can't
leave Oregon?
It would be really weird to leave Oregon and all that money to go to Miami, which, again, just look at it, man. Every coach that gets hired there gets fired there.
Butch
Usually
Davis
within
is
3 or 4
available.
years.
Butch Davis is available again.
Yeah, bring Butch back. He's out at FIU or FAU. FIU. Yeah.
Any idea why on the broadcast Mark Jones kept saying there were 7 national championships between FSU and UM? FSU has 3, Miami has 5. It's 8. Yes, I know he got it wrong.
Which one of Miami one was he not counting? The one they split with Washington, maybe? Like he's like, if you're splitting the 91 one,
I'm not counting.
I'm not counting. It's got to be a full championship.
Maybe he did keep saying it when I went
Really?
back and watched.
Yeah,
he said it at the
7.
end too.
And then
I
I started doubting myself. Like, wait, does
Miami
Miami only have 4? I know Florida State has 3. Is he not counting the 93 one because of Foot Locker?
Josh writes, is it just me or does RG3 tell such bad dad jokes that
Yes.
he makes Corey Clark look like Rodney Dangerfield?
No respect here.
Is this the best win since the 2016 Orange Bowl against Michigan, writes Zach?
Man, I think it's better than that. Just maybe been the hit because of hindsight, because that win ended up meaning nothing in the long term. We hope this win means more than that win ended up meaning. But
It would be great to get to the point where you're just discounting Orange Bowl wins again.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, but
yeah, we're
so tired of going to New Orleans in the Sugar Bowl.
Yeah,
Can
and
we
then the
please
Orange
go?
Bowl
Yeah.
again with the
Now,
Orange Bowl.
That people that are younger that are watching this, we have just some younger audience on especially on the YouTube. Man, when they went in 2002 to play Georgia, that's all you heard was,
I was so tired
the
of
Sugar
going
Bowl
there. We got to
again.
go back to the Sugar Bowl. Good
Yeah.
God, that's all we ever do is go and win the Sugar Bowl. Ohio State, Virginia Tech. We're just
Yeah,
steady
Georgia
stomping ass
again.
here in New Orleans.
Yeah. I was trying to think of a win that I could compare it to, a home win. And the only thing I could compare it to in recent memory, not even that recent, was the 16 Florida game.
Yeah.
Where Dalvin, DeMarcus, DeAndre, they're all jumping up in the stands. You beat them kind of convincingly.
31-7.
Yeah.
Well,
16, not 10.
Oh,
Just
no.
Yeah,
yeah,
that was
2000
close.
DeAndre Francois
Yeah.
game.
That's right. That was
Just not because what it meant to the program necessarily. Just the last time it felt like that in Doak Campbell and had that kind of atmosphere, and they were happy because you had just won a game.
And you felt like DeAndre was going to be a star.
Yes.
Like it felt like that. I remember writing. It was like the
And you
passing of
probably
the
felt
baton.
like you weren't going to miss Dalvin that much.
Right. You know.
Oh, man, that's funny. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Do you believe that the next 2 games are 4th and 14 situations, must-wins, in order to help secure the recruits? We are 4-2 after an 0-4 start. Bamboo's growing. And someone by Corey a hat so his dome will not be cold in the post-game videos.
Yes, you don't have to put on the do-rag.
I like the do-rag.
Yeah,
I'll probably wear
I
that
don't
do-rag.
think the next 2 games are 4th and 14 must-win situations. I think you could go 1-2, 1-1. I think you could potentially go 0-2. I don't know. I think that Is it the hay is in the barn, boys? Are we good to go? I think we're good to go with this class. As long as you don't get blown the hell out.
I think most of the hay is in the barn. I think that win was a monster win.
Yeah, maybe just don't even tell the kids to watch the Boston College game.
Tell them you're not playing. Well, if they're in Florida, they can't because it's on the ACC
Right,
network.
there
So
you
just
go.
tell them we're off this week. Weird bye.
2 questions.
But 4-2, and again, one of those losses was at Clemson where you had the lead in the fourth quarter, and the other loss was without your quarterback and half your team had the flu. Like, this has been a nice 6-game stretch here.
All right. Kevin writes, how about that fake momentum, huh? I'm still pumped about the finish on Saturday night. Jeff, did Jordan Travis do enough to change your mind? He's the program's best quarterback option heading into next year. Follow up, everyone. Who should we go after for QB in the portal this offseason? Yeah, so it's interesting. I do think they need to go after a quarterback. I'll stay by that. I think Jordan Travis has a better chance now, in my mind, to continue to grow and win that job no matter who they go get. I just think that both can be true, right? Jordan did enough to have me thinking, okay, there's real growth possible. That's good. I'm really happy for the kid. Always liked the kid. He was just too one-dimensional. For Florida State to get to where they need to go, he has to continue to get better as a passer.
It's interesting, too, though, because he might have done enough. He might have done enough here in these last 6 weeks that Florida State might not be as appealing an option to a guy that really wants to play because there is no guarantee. I don't know if there is a quarterback out there that just absolutely, if he says he's coming, is guaranteed.
If Jordan's
going
to be that guy,
well,
if he is going to be that guy,
but you can't. There's no way you can go recruit a kid in the portal and say, "Yeah, you're my number one." You're not.
No, you don't.
You
And-
can't.
Yeah,
and some of those guys are going to want that guarantee.
Yeah,
or they're not
you'll
gonna
limit
leave.
the pool, but there's still guys that would be interested in coming. There are guys
Sure,
going to
but-
look at Jordan Travis and say, I can beat him out.
Yeah.
Like I said, though, well, the other thing about Jordan Travis is you got to give them a lot of credit for really kind of investing in him. He talked today, and I'll pimp Warchant TV one more time. Jordan Travis spoke today to the media. Go watch his interview on YouTube if you get a chance, or on warchant.com. But he said, 2 years ago when they played Boston College, he kind of thought his football career might never be anything because he didn't get to play. He didn't really get to play at Louisville. Transfers here, doesn't get off the bench at all. Like Willie Taggart just didn't seem to have any interest in him at all. Willie gets fired after the Miami game. They go to BC. Odell Higgins and Jordan talked about it. He's like, man, I really just appreciate Coach Briles, Kendall Briles, and Odell for giving me a chance to get in that game. He gets in that game, has those long runs. All of a sudden now he's a factor at Florida State. Now 2 years later, he might be a real quarterback.
Heisman contender early.
Hey, if he does win the Heisman
2022.
at some point,
I'm going to New York.
Jordan, he needs to bring Kenny Dillingham and Norvell up on the stage with him.
Oh, I thought you were going to say me.
Well, you.
He would thank me probably, right?
Perhaps.
I think
For
Corey
seeing
Clark's
something that nobody else could for a
Right.
very long time.
That's
Yes,
right.
That's true. We'll come back, wrap it up momentarily on 93.3 Real Talk Radio Warchant TV.
Had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus, happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Parker Brothers Roofing says don't play games with your roof. Protect your home and your family. The Parker Brothers tell you the truth. We'll fix your roof, cause it's what we do. With quality, integrity, and pride. Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
At Parker Brothers Roofing, we understand that the decision to get a new roof is a big investment. It's an investment in building equity, an investment in your future, and an investment in the safety of you and your family in the event of a major storm. At Parker Brothers Roofing, we make it easy with free estimates, affordable financing, and professional installation every time since 1995. Visit ParkerBrothersRoofing.net today.
Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
At Epps Decorating Center, we're your locally owned Benjamin Moore retailer. We're your store for quality with brilliant and durable paints in a variety of sheens and thousands of colors. We're your store for service with one-on-one advice for contractors and homeowners. We're your local experts, and we're here to help with all your painting projects. Benjamin Moore, available at Epps Decorating Center with 2 locations in Tallahassee. Find a store near you and visit EppsDecorating.com. That's EppsDecorating.com.
If you weren't the owner of Gordo's and all those wonderful restaurants in it, what would you be doing?
I think I'd want to be I don't know what I'd want to be. Boat captain or a cowboy.
You know how to use a lasso?
No.
You'd have to do that if you were a cowboy.
Yeah, but I've never even been on a horse. It's not my place to be on a horse.
I agree. And the horse thing, shoot. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Many orthodontists in Tallahassee can straighten a smile, but at Birch Orthodontics, they're dedicated to providing the finest care possible. The experienced and friendly staff is trained in all of the latest techniques. So whether you need standard treatment like braces or Invisalign, or you have a more complicated case requiring extra attention, Birch Orthodontics is here for you. Set up your free consultation today by visiting birchorthodontics.com, BURCH orthodontics.com, or call 850-877-1692. At Birch Orthodontics, they create beautiful smiles that last a lifetime.
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
Well, good on you, Joel. That is greatly appreciated, and I mean that sincerely, really for everybody. But what a gracious donation, gift, if you will, or contribution to the cause.
Mean it from our plums.
Yeah. Is it just me, or did the defense start looking good when Randy Shannon got involved with this team? Can he be our answer as a defense coordinator, or is Fuller safe? No, Fuller's safe right now. I don't. Joel, answering you seriously, I don't think it has a lot to do with Randy Shannon.
I mean, he's involved. He definitely is involved,
Sure.
and he's
But there's only so much he's allowed to do.
Yeah,
first of
exactly.
all.
But yeah, it's more of the game planning and strategic stuff off the field. But no, I mean, I think he's helped. But Fuller's done overall,
He's done a good job, and also
still 2 games left though.
Finding the guys in the back end and getting the contributions there. And they've had to scheme around problems at linebacker all year, and that's something that we're going to be anxiously awaiting with this recruiting class and the transfer portal for that matter. I think you got to find a guy that can come in and play right now.
Yeah.
Because that's a position of glaring need. It's going to be again next year, so we shall see. Whether or not Florida State becomes that 8-9 win team that we all desperately want them to become and to get to, they've got a lot of work to do. And it could, again, they're doing it every week. If they go out and beat BC and they get legitimately 1 game away from going to a bowl after starting 0-4, and then we don't know how the Florida game's going to go. But, man, that class is already looking good. It could be sensational. And then you've also probably conjured up the interest of a lot of people looking around, where do I go? Well, they're on the rise. They're a team that has an immediate spot at a position I play, and they're on the come.
And people forget that was part of, you can question Mackenzie Milton and whether it was a good take or not. Him and Jermaine Johnson were a big deal of getting some of these other transfers in. They may not get Andrew Parchment. They may not, for the one catch. But you may not get Keir Thomas and Jamie Robinson, some of those guys, because you got that buzz.
Charlie writes, Jeff, this is a Seymour. It's about your man Jermaine Johnson. Since spring, you guys have been talking about how he was just a whole new level of player for us, something we hadn't seen around here in a while. Well, the season really has borne that out. Yeah, we're pretty good, Charlie. We saw it.
The one thing, though,
we don't peddle BS around here, Charlie.
But the question we did have was, does he look that good because he's surrounded by these guys, or is he really that good? And it turns out he's really that good.
Yeah, and we were really, really right.
Turns out
100%.
Charlie wrote a novel, but I just want to go ahead and leave that there. I'll let you guys read the rest of the novel.
Okay, you can go to Facebook and read Charlie's question.
It's a good thing. It's a lot of great things there, but
you can see more, and I can see more.
Yeah,
we can
all see more.
Well, he basically, I'm going to fast forward to it here to the back end, where he says, I've thought for a while now that there are some real parallels with Jermaine's impact of the program and a guy like Ron Simmons to Bobby's, showing us what can be possible. What do you guys think?
A few people brought up the Ron Simmons thing. I was curious about it. I wasn't here, obviously, back at that point, but
there was believe it or not.
But
I guess you went to high school with Ron Simmons.
I guess it makes sense from the standpoint of a guy came in and right away made a huge impact.
Yes. It made Florida State maybe more attractive to other big time.
So I guess I was thinking just like, man, he wasn't here for 1 year.
Yeah.
But it was the fact he came in right away and was such a
the difference is I think there were people then that were like, I want to go play with Ron Simmons. That would be awesome. And nobody's going to get to play with Jermaine Johnson. So that's the difference. But the the 1 year impact is very similar. Sure.
Bob writes, victory sausages for all. That's well done. That's true. What are the odds Miami's season caves in from here on? I think they have two pretty innocuous
Virginia
games.
Tech. They got Virginia Tech.
A fired
and
Fuente
Duke.
and Duke. So
But
they
yeah.
should accidentally win both those games.
Van Dyke's going to have some big numbers, I think.
If you're Manny, you know, I mean, the writing's on the wall. They didn't fire your AD to give you an extension. Blake James would have gone along with that since he's the guy that hired you.
Maybe Blake James wanted to fire Manny, and they're like,
nope.
Hell no.
We've
Hell
seen it
no.
up.
Have you seen what he's done with this group?
Yeah. By the way, maybe. That's a rivalry. That Duke-Miami game is always good.
It has been good.
It could be. I mean,
It's a
let's see what
rivalry
happens
game.
Old
here.
dead fish might.
Old dead fish may rise up here and
Yeah.
give Miami a problem.
That may be the end of the road for him.
When those two teams get together, you just
just
throw
don't
the
throw the
records
scores.
out
Yeah,
the window.
yeah.
You just throw them
Point spread
completely out the
doesn't matter.
window.
Yeah.
By the way, and my guy Les from South Florida brought this up last night. There's a chance. I mean, if Mullins ends up being out and Manny's out, Norvell might be the dean here
The
soon.
dean in the state of Florida, bringing in the best class.
Coach
The
killer.
momentum at the end of a 4 or 5 win campaign.
And anybody that loses to Norvell gets fired. Is that how that works?
Yeah, the Jacksonville State guy beat him in
But he
resigned.
almost lost. So that was enough for their age.
Writing was on the wall for him that night. They
It's
did
like-
a Hail Mary to beat Florida State.
There was a stretch in rec ball where I got like 3 hits in 3 games, and every time I got a hit, they went and took the pitcher out. My dad made a point to note that.
Oh,
Like,
nice
man,
of him.
Corey, every
Boy,
time
Corey,
you get a hit on
they're
someone,
like,
they're like,
"Good
God,
God,
this kid's lost it.
What are we
Go
doing?
and get him.
He must be exhausted to
Yeah.
give up a hit to this kid. Gentlemen, I trust all of you had some victory sausage this weekend. How close did the logo villainy come to becoming a huge fight? It seemed the refs were late to respond. P.S. Please tell Corey, bold choice for the after-the-game headwear.
That's what I do.
Yes, Steve. I don't think it was that
No, I don't
close.
think
It
so.
wasn't that close.
It was funny though, like the Florida State guys for the most part, like especially staff, were really trying to separate things. Now, there were a couple dudes on Miami's side in like street clothes who were like, "Let's go!"
Street clothes guys. Sure. Yeah.
It's
They
like
want to fight.
Lamar Thomas, like, I send him across the bridge or whatever he yelled at that.
Yeah,
The announcers are doing that. Yeah, now Keir Thomas did go charge after that equipment guy.
he
wanted another shot at that.
Nathaniel, you're our last question for the day, and you write.
Make it count, Nathaniel.
The hornblower?
Yes. You know it's going to be good. I've seen most people ripping 3 and demanding he be benched for his several plays, which admittedly left an awful lot to be desired. But have we forgotten that 1, he very quietly helped shut down Rambo down for most of this game, and 2, the wins over replacement drop off exponentially after our first few corners. His bad plays this year have been glaringly bad.
Yes.
But such is the life of a corner, and the countless quiet plays also speak volumes. P.S. How many times have you guys watched the replay of Travis ripping and Parchment absolutely snatching that ball from the air? It's like the first bite of a freshly grilled register sausage.
Oh, you just hit yourself in the face?
No, I hit the bill of my calf.
Just thinking about that register.
Yeah, just like
Hashtag
a-
chef's kiss.
Yeah. It is like that first taste of a register. Jalapeno cheddar.
Jalapeno cheddar.
Yeah, that's like that first taste of that.
I was thinking the andouille.
Yeah, andouille's fine. But andouille's great, actually. But the jalapeno cheddar just hits different. But, yeah, I've watched it probably 5 times, I'd say. 5 or 6 times.
I've watched it no fewer than 10.
Okay. All right.
I may watch it again immediately following the show.
And it's a good – Brownlee was good against NC State. You never heard his name called at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's the other guys that were making the stuff. Like, Brownlee's been a good corner. He's been your best corner from start to finish. It's just –
I just love the passion
There's
with
been
which
some-
he plays.
yeah.
He can get better. He's made some mistakes. None of those
and
guys
there's been
are
some
perfect.
unfortunate, very, very memorably unfortunate
very,
plays.
very.
But yeah, he's and he plays every snap, man. He plays every snap.
It's
So-
cool. It's going to be fun to see. These next 2 games are important. Obviously, it'd be huge if they can win them, at least one, maybe both. But I am excited to see this defense in the future, and especially if some of these guys come back. There's several guys who are 3rd or 4th year guys that could test the waters if they want. I don't know if any of them are slam dunk to go, but if you get most of those guys back on this defense with another year in the system, plus some of the guys they're bringing in, could be good.
For Corey Clark, Ira Chappelle, our thanks to you, Director Matthew, and all of you for listening and or watching here on 93.3 Real Talk. Oh, he's got his Flanagan's going. And Warchant TV. Be good, everybody. We'll talk to you down the road.